Aloha and welcome back to the 2017 Aloha Classic. This is going to be our third broadcast day. I believe our sixth day of competition, something like that. Don't have the stats in front of me. But where we're at here is that we are going to try to finish the pro men and the pro women and finish this contest right now today. Bit of a dodgy affair earlier. We have 6 foot plus Hawaiian surf, which means mast high plus windsurfer scale. And the wind has been the reason why we've waited this long to begin broadcasting and to begin even having the conversation about trying to finish this event. I look to my right here and I see the lineup, and I look downwind past my screen here and I see Mickey Schwager stuck in the channel. This is the windiest it's been all day right now. And we are looking at less than 12 knots of actual surface wind. A little bit more on the outside, but another added factor to this is that the swell is coming quite strong from the north-northeast. And it's running fat into the channel on the big sets, and it's also creating a lot of current. So the actual surface wind speed is probably more like 8 knots or less when you're drifting with the current in front of the rocks. I could fully expect to see some carnage today of various varieties. Duncan's not going to be shy here. He's probably going to, see if Mickey even makes it out. About an hour and a half ago, in the misty rain and fog, Bujama Giol tried to go out and actually got a little bit of jet ski assistance on his way out, just to kind of enhance the possibility that he would catch a wave. And what happened there was that a full-blown set came in, and Bujama was perhaps 3 separate occasions lifted up by the ground swell and just couldn't get in. So you're looking at a situation where he tried to make it out and couldn't, and the jet ski got him out, and then what happened? He basically got run into the whole business of trying to catch a wave with no wind. Yeah, Rama. Nobody from the Free Radicals right here. All right, we're live on direct. Come on down a shot.
Oh, shit.
Check out a good band. You want to see my friend Rama's band here? The free, yeah, he can. This is Rama from the Free Radicals who just got done surfing. What's up out there, Rama?
Wow, it's fucking awesome, man. Did you see it? Oh,
yeah, that was.
Awesome. Sorry. It's
really looking good. You were at Lanes to the right. Where were you?
I was over there at the right, man. It's picking up. So how was that closeout set? Just came through, man.
Yeah, did that come on you, or how did you make it out of that situation there?
Oh, I went out in and through lanes. I went in through lanes, man.
Well done. All right, you want to check out a good album? Check out the Free Radicals featuring Mishkan vocals, this guy on guitar, sonic particles for the open mind, correct?
Yes, and you play with us sometimes.
I do sit in with you guys. We have a good time. I look forward to it again, my friend.
December 2nd?
Yeah, we're looking good, actually. It's proud to announce that my metal band Anesthesia is going to be co-headlining a gig with the Free Radicals at Mulligan's on December 2nd. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, man.
Can't wait. See you at the studio.
See you at the studio,
All right.
Sorry, man. No worries.
No, I need to drop a little F-bomb. You're not going to get fined by anybody. That was still less than Mickey Eskimo last year, so I think we're okay. Rama's a great guitarist. Good to see the passerby. The local people here obviously enjoying the conditions. And as if on cue, we're going to bring on Rob Funk here. Let's give our little drum roll, please. Here's the Funk Man. What was that in the Grandmasters this year, Rob?
3rd place. Felt like I should have done better.
That's fine. Defending champion nonetheless, back on the podium. Congratulations. And we're looking at, this pro men's heat coming up here. Duncan said 28 on the clock, so that leads me to believe we got a 26-minute heat.
No, 28-minute heat with a 2-minute transition.
30 minutes on the clock. And we might as well set our watches here while we do that. And I'm going to assume it's 2 waves counting, as it usually is. We're getting people trying to get out there. I know I haven't seen Mickey Swagger since he got stuck in the channel. Well, Mickey's predicament is going to be repeated by a few, but what I do see Kai Lenny trying to go out here. And once we get our land camera set up, we can start taking a look at the lineup. Is that coming up? Yeah. Okay, we'll get that soon to you. Thanks for sticking with us. Okay, Rob, take me through the Rob Funk perspective here of today specifically. What do you see and what do you see happening?
Well, I see like we've had a really long lull, and then that one closeout set came in. So it's going to be a pick and choose type of day. You're going to you have long heats, 28-minute heats. So you're going to want to be patient and catch the right waves. north swell, you're going to have long running waves. So you're going to have guys with a lot of turns kicking out in the channel, I would assume, wouldn't you?
Definitely getting out to get a next wave is going to be paramount interest to any rider looking to score more than one wave. It's very likely that actually getting out today could take half your heat in certain situations. You know, I'm looking at Bujuma, Guillaume, and Kai Lenny here trying to get out through the lineup. The wind really just arrived 10 minutes ago after teasing us for a while. Well, you don't see it on your screen, but Sean Walsh has picked up Mickey Schwager, and they are heading down to, try and punch out of here. He's getting a jet ski assist go out. On your screen, Bouja Magil, M3, proudly representing Morocco. Inside of him, Kai Lenny. And, Bujama promptly sailed straight in front of the rocks into the channel. Keep your eye on Bujama, because this is the sequence here. You've got to make it past the lines of whitewater in front of the rocks. There's Kai Lenny. Kai Lenny doesn't want to make that happen yet. He wants to wait for a good gust so he knows he's not going in front of the rocks with dead air. Because right now, inside here, it's 5 to 6 knots, maybe 7, not even that much. Kai Lenny doing the waterman's uphaul without the uphaul, an essential task for any true Hokipa veteran such as himself. Kai Lenny, well-sponsored rider. Let's not kid ourselves. If you can pan out just a little bit, a little further out, there you go. I'm just trying to mention all the sponsors. Give him some run. There you go. Sponsored by Red Bull, Nash, Hurley, Tag Heuer. A very, very impressive list of sponsors. And last but not least, Nike. Rob, he's probably the most sponsored windsurfer in the industry.
I agree, and well-deserved, too, because he is a product of everyone's dream to have as an ad person for them, because he's so well-recognized around the world, and he's got the talent. He's just got it all. It's a perfect combination.
A sponsor's dream, no doubt. And, did I just call him a windsurfer? Shame on me, because he's everything. He's a surfer, a windsurfer, a kiteboarder, stand-up paddleboarder, foil blader. Foil blading is a good way to call foiling, huh? Yeah. It is a blade. And Kai Lenny on the blade is a sight to behold. And outside of him, Bujma has made it into the lineup, which is a great sign for us, you guys. We're going to be able to roll today. Duncan's taking a really close look here, but this is a dream come true for Duncan compared to 2 hours ago when we were not looking good right now. This is, the floodgates have opened, basically. Hokipa is going to deliver us a chance to compete. Whether or not it's a chance to complete, that's a different story here.
No, we will not complete. We will not complete today. We'll just go through this round at the moment. But this is where we're at right now. We're not going to complete the contest today.
Let's not be too sure about anything. You can never be too sure, Rob. These days might be getting shorter, but right now at 140, if we can start within 20 minutes here, what's going to happen is we're going to get a chance to go pretty far. I don't know what the agenda is. I think what my opinion about the conditions is it's going to be good until late. This is our window, and we have definitely not squandered our opportunity. Hats off to the entire IWT crew, especially Duncan Coombs, who's waited and toughed it out, through an agonizing, morning here. We really, really were not sure this was going to happen. Kind of had to look like it wasn't going to happen. But it's looking good. The majority of our riders are in the lineup. Mickey, who went out before it was even suitably windy, is now, getting a little bit of a ski ride upwind. Thank you, Sean Walsh and DK Walsh, for just absolute top-notch water safety. Can't say enough about the Walsh brothers, all 4 of them. Seriously, between Luke, Ian, DK, and Sean, you got to be kidding me. But their water safety, which I'm sticking to topic here, really is an example of how to do it right. And I'm glad to see the skis running after it was hoolied like that.
Yeah, it was. I was surprised someone turned around. Look at the ski. What are the Walsh boys going to do? I go, well, they'll probably just turn it over and go back out. But it was a surprise because of that one big swell that came through. It knocked everything out. That's what made the ski go over.
Yeah, well, we got the ski running, and hopefully, rinse that thing off at the end of the day and move along. Also going out for a warm-up right now in the lineup is infamous Kevin Pritchard. You're looking at Kai Lenny, who's kind of inching his way up there. Kevin's just entered in front of the channel. We can keep it on Kai Lenny here. And essentially, the guys are going out. Levi's out now. It's time to go, shake off those cobwebs of hours of sitting in your car or next to your friend's car and like, what's going to happen? Here we go. And you saw that wind line, that darker color come down the coast.
Yeah, I saw it, and I called it a while back. I go, hey, this action is on. I was looking through Scott Shoemaker's Fujinon binoculars, and you can actually get a good idea on how it was. The texture totally changed within seconds, and I saw the wind line as it was moving in, and it moved in really, really fast, and here we are now. And I asked Kai Lenny, he was surfing, and boy, was he putting on a show surfing. But when he came in, I go, dude, what's it like? And he goes, man, it's playable now. We're going.
Great news. And the Aloha Classic 2017 rolls on. And there's a bunch of intriguing matchups here. I mean, you're in the quarterfinals. Of course, everything's intriguing, but we're 4 heats to finish the quarters and get into our top 8. And let's just consider that our goal at the moment. If we get into the top 4 or possibly even run the final, I don't think Duncan's going to hesitate. But we'll start with the quarterfinals. And Kai Lenny's in that first heat. Rob, if you could possibly find me the heat draw, we can talk about it a little bit. Thank you. It's coming. Right. Thank you, Jake. Partner in crime here, Jake Miller, setting up his drone, Aerial Video Maui, for all your drone needs. Action Sports. I'll be giving Jake a call. It's a very good resource to have. I guess I can't really fly a drone myself while I'm sailing, filming myself just yet. I mean, kind of, but not really. That's way too much to concentrate on. So give Jake a call if you want to get a drone session of your ripping. People trying to line up on the cliffs here. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon, and the arena is gathering. This is the full-blown spectacle that Hokipa deserves to be on finals day, you guys. Like, this is it. People are out. The word's out within like 5 minutes of me talking. Just like, a really good number of people watching. As we watch, Kai, Waterman, Lenny setting up at H. Poco Point proper. Has already been out surfing for about 2 hours. I saw him get a nice, tasty, cozy shack. There's Kai Lenny off the bottom, signature Hawaiian style. Draw off that bottom turn, play the Sunset Beach line, duck and weave. He's going to play it maybe safer in the heat, This is a safe line, I'm trying to say. Like, in the heat, it's a little bit more throwdown style. But here's the deal. Is that it's absolutely contestable. No question that we're gonna get this started here, and probably in just a matter of minutes, we'll get the heat draw and we'll get the timing sequence up on this. Don't go anywhere. 2017 Aloha Classic. We could go to commercial in a little meantime here, but before we do, just to mention a little bit about one of our sponsors. Main sponsor for the live cast is Nalu Ola Ranch, which is a large parcel on the left side of Hana Highway as you exit Maliko Gulch, and it is just an astounding slice of the rock. And I really suggest that anybody in a position to have a look. I took a 3-hour tour with John Papazian, and just an awesome, opulent piece of real estate. Have a look. We'll be right back at the 2017 Aloha Classic. All right, 2-minute sequence for heat number 29. Bujma Giol, Kai Lenny, Itibashi, and Schwager. That's Kevin Pritchard finishing his warm-up. He's actually in heat 32, the last of this round. So, it's game time here at Hokipa. Let's get ready to rumble. In this corner, Bujma Giol from Morocco. In the other corner, Kai Lenny from Maui. Itibashi from Japan. And Miki Schwager from, I believe, he's Austria, yeah?
Yeah, he is Austrian.
Austrian Hawaiian. This is a stacked heat, as all these heats are stacked to the horizon. But this is a particularly clutch battle for Bujma, who's followed a lot of the IWT tour here. And was actually the first guy to go out earlier, as I mentioned. How's that go out with the ski, Rob?
The go out with a ski, it saved his ass, actually, to be honest with you, because he was down there with nowhere to go because there was no wind, and those northeast swell kept pushing him down towards Mama's Fish House for lunch.
Big time. And they don't really do mamas to go in that situation, so, you know. Looking at Jake Miller here, aerial video Maui, getting ready to launch the drone, which will bring you some definitely unique bird's eye view perspectives. If you couldn't even say it more accurately than that, it's the bird's eye view of Hokipa as the crow flies over the lineup. Now, we've got 4 seconds until the start of this heat. That's the horn. This heat's on. 28 minutes of battle upcoming here at the 2017 Aloha Classic. And off the bat, it is going to be Itibashi on a wave heading towards H. Poco Point. Kind of the graduate member of this new Japanese crew that I've been so impressed with, the kids from Omezaki. Well, Itibashi is one of them. And he is going to set up shop here to open up the scoring here on the round of 16. Itibashi takes his look, heads towards the point, punches his bottom turn, sets his target, kind of gets a mid-face turn, and then we're panning out to none other than Kai Lenny, who's on the set afterward. Itibashi does continue, but keep it on Kai here. Kai, full head of steam down towards H. Poco Point proper. Blam! Contact on the lip, kind of came from behind there. Kai Lenny with a full rail bottom turn, kind of flat sail outside of him. Mickey Schwager's already done a perfect bottom turn on a prime set wave. Kai and Mickey both trading off turns down the line here. Mickey Schwager full head of steam down the line as Kai Lenny hits the lip in front of him. Kai Lenny's racked up a great score. Mickey Schwager opting for some more open lines and some less contact. Mickey Schwager's ridden this wave from all the way upwind middles. And as we pan out, we'll see Bujma Giol, who kind of got closed out on and definitely ended up with the sour grapes of that entire exchange. Poor Bujma waited really patiently. Might have gotten a turn or two lost in that fracas, but certainly not the downtown express that Mickey Schwager got. Kai Lenny definitely got a bunch of good turns with contact. And that whole exchange is now going to play out. Here comes Bujma right in front of the rocks, realizing that he doesn't have anything else to do but try and just get anywhere near, above, or close to them. He's all right, let me catch my breath because that was a heavy exchange and we don't have replay, but I'll take it through you. Itibashi on the first wave, probably about a logo high wave, did a succession of trim turns to get into the meat part of the wave where he actually went to work. Kai Lenny right behind him after Itibashi had kind of made a few turns and gone out of there. Kai Lenny went to town on a medium-sized but deeper H. Poco Point wave, which he hit aggressively right off the bat, and then for two more turns until it went fat in the channel. Kind of got a late hit off the last section of it. I heard some judge groanings. I heard some, like it was an impressive amount of contact. Mickey Schwager probably got the best wave in terms of like wave quality out of that exchange. Maybe didn't ride it as aggressively. Mickey did two things there to help his cause. He rode a long wave. He's going to get a good score. Might not be as high as Lenny's score, just saying. That's the only speculation you'll get from me. But what it did enable for Mickey is that by kicking out and being in the position of the biggest wave, he gets to be out in the lineup first out of anybody. So you're looking at Mickey Schwager, Nash boards, Nash sails, heading back out. Behind him is Kai Lenny. That entire exchange and that description that followed took about 4 minutes. We got plenty of time left to play this out. We're really happy with the fact that we're actually competing here. Sam Bittner walking by, thumbs up, full steam of enthusiasm here, making sure the show's running. Thank you, Sam, for everything you do for us and our tribe. So stoked to have this contest and to bring it to you live here. Flycatcher and Funk bringing it to you from H. Poco Point as we watch some people getting barely out. Morgan just missed going on the rock there. Loic Le Sauvage behind him right in front of the rocks. It's definitely a little sketchy, you guys. I think we'll see somebody on there before too long, but hopefully nobody. I would be really surprised if nobody goes on right now. It's definitely rock material. Rob, what about that exchange?
That was a great exchange. I was actually distracted for a little bit, but man, the conditions are just coming to fruition right now. It's kind of being one of those days that we're going to have you guys are going to have a good time watching this today. That's for darn sure. You got the best of the best out there.
I agree with Rob. We're kind of elitists in this whole game. You know, it takes a little bit to get us out of bed and excited, but right there, you know, we're in the game and way downwind. You're not going to see it on this shot. You're just watching Kai Lenny kind of trim. I might go for a wave ride here to get a second score. I'd be surprised. No, he's going to go back to sail, and what he's doing is he's holding his ground. He realizes he's kind of second in the lineup here and is going to get himself out there. Bujma is kind of gotten washed into no man's land down there, and that's bound to happen here. But what you have, and you check it on Schwager, if you go up to Mickey Schwager, there's Kai Lenny going out. There's Mickey Schwager coming in. Really looking like he's going to pull into his second scoring ride in this heat. Schwager playing position and actually taking off very deep on this wave, which is focusing on the point. But here he goes. Here's the Schwager Express coming all the way down from middles. Is he going to make contact? Mickey Schwager kind of avoids contact, but definitely allows himself to make the section off the bottom again, drawing a good line. Drawing the line and connecting the dots. This is a nice wave for Mickey. You know, we're going to purport contact and all that, but if contact had been sacrificed for those two nice turns, I bet it would have been a lower score. Hard to say. It's up to the judges. But Mickey did have an opportunity for contact that he didn't quite make, though I will say he's on the board with his second score, and that's going to be worth something, Rob.
Oh, definitely. That was a long wave, and if he had made contact, he probably wouldn't have made those other sections because of lack of speed from making the contact. But now everyone heading back out. You got Kai Lenny on the way outside setting up. Two Nash riders, Schwager and Kai Lenny in this heat. Now we got Bujma still trying to work his way up from the lanes. You guys can't see that right now, but he is. And a little lull in the action as we go right now. Kai's getting upwind to set up for his next wave.
A little bit of a pause in between also just to play out that Bujma's now made it out from lanes, and Itibashi was at lower lanes after his one ride. So Itibashi definitely took a fair deal of punishment there. As that's Maxime Fervier on my simmer rig and board that I'm lending him. Go Maxime, one of our surviving simmer riders. And I've geared him up with my best board and my best sail for him, because that's what a team captain does. And I'll tell you right now that I'm proud to see him where he's at, both in this contest and for the year's tour standings. So pardon me if I seem a little biased. Thank you for reminding me what that word even means. Anyway, here we go. Kai Lenny yet to drop his second score. He's going to play pick and choose. 20 minutes left in this heat. And as they are scoring two waves, you could certainly find two waves in 20 minutes. You also might want to find two really good high-scoring waves, because that's going to get you through your heat. It's been a while since somebody won a heat on one wave. I'm just saying.
It has been done, though, and that's for sure. Kai's the one guy that could probably do it, but he's setting up for his position. It's just, like we said, a little lull in the action right now, so we're waiting. He's just sitting outside waiting for that one set to come through. He's being very, very, very patient today, and same with Mickey and all of them. That's why they're staying outside. You don't see anyone in the inside right now because there's really not much of a scoring chance.
Got to pick your battles here, and the longer you wait without a score, that's one thing. But if you got a score in the bag like Kai Lenny does, you can actually look at it as you're only going to ride a wave if it's going to be something better than the last thing you've done. That's the scale you want to take here. And as if on cue, let's pan back outside here. Kai Lenny's definitely setting up for what looks like a really significant sized wave. This looks like it's in the 6-foot Hawaiian range, coming square into H. Poco Point. And Kai Lenny's on it. Bujama kind of jives out of it. Kai Lenny's setting up here. US 1112. Tacks out of that opportunity. Felt it was going a little fat. Sees that there's another one. Will he just quickly drive on this? Hard to say. Is he going out? Is he coming in? We'll find out. No. Kai Lenny's going to look for an actual upper cornice wave. And looking at what rolled down pretty fat there on the point, as we watch Itibashi all of a sudden back in the mix. And I think he's kind of got that adrenaline where he's going to ride this thing, which is actually the channel. And he's getting a turn on it, but he also realizes now where he actually is. Is he going to get a score? You know, he most certainly is going to get a score. And it's pretty smart as long as he cuts out right there. And he did it perfectly. If he was going to ride that wave, that's what he wanted to do. Itibashi with a second score. So Itibashi is on the board with 2 scores. Mickey Schwager, I believe, is on the board with 2 scores. About to be 3 scores. Bujama Guillot below him, pumping to get on this wave. You only see Schwager on your screen. And Schwager's cut out of that wave. He didn't want it. He didn't realize that, you know, it was bigger or better than anything else he's ridden. However, Guillot, who's basically been put in the position in this heat to scrape anything he can after his first exchange there went a little sour, he opts out. Now Kai Lenny sees the wave he wants. This is wave selection at its finest, you guys. There's Kai Lenny all the way upwind at Green Trees. Classic Hawaiian style bottom turn. Speed, power, flow. There goes Lenny. Off the bottom. Second bottom turn. Hooks a nice cutback. He's eyeing a target. Target acquired. Target hit. And, you know, without really making too much of a game out of it, he hit that section, and that's probably how you want to end that ride if you're not going to sail away from it. And he wisely hangs on to his gear as we look at kind of the aftermath of a ride that didn't necessarily go perfectly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sam, with the Red Bulls. Oh, yeah. Things are about to get real around here now, Rob.
Yes, it is.
Can I pour you a Red Bull?
No, thank you. No, thank you, Red, at this time. I'm pretty much hyped up as it is.
What does Red Bull do for you, Rob?
It gives me the shakes.
Okay.
It's pretty. It's an adrenaline rusher.
Okay. Just hold that thought for a second, because I'm looking at that like, probably going to crack that thing pretty soon. But not yet. Not yet. Mickey Schwager all the way upwind. Take me through Schwager.
So Mickey's fading into this wind straight off the point here. He's going to fade up. He looks like he's going to come into a perfectly rolling right-hander. Sitting up high. He's got himself a nice wave. Bottom turns. He's going to come into this wave. Comes around the corner. He's kind of a little slow there. It's gotten a little fat on him. He's going to take a high line here. Coming off the top. He's just trying to stay with this wave. It's just rolling right through to the channel. He comes off the top. Again, soft wave here, but it's going to reform here on the inside, and it's going to really jack up here. As he comes in, he's got bottom turn. He's losing his speed there, so the wind's a bit on shore. He stays up high. He's getting a good scoring wave out of this because he's getting so many turns off of it. And the wave is so slow for him right there that he's going to come into the channel right here, and that should be pretty much it for this wave.
And behind him, Bujama Guillot, who's been doing this the whole time too. A little more amplitude on the turns, but a little smaller wave, kind of more cornicey wave though. Really hard to compare those two styles. Ultimately, you know, the wave's going to dictate something. The level of contact's going to dictate something too, Rob. You know, that's kind of been the name of the game. I've really noticed on the judges' cards that they are looking to differentiate. Mickey did really well, though. I must say, Mickey Schwager's wave was a great ride, and it should be rewarded. Here it goes. Just a moment. Itibashi off the bottom with another kind of aggressive approach. These Japanese riders always try and slice and dice pretty aggressively. Not the biggest wave, kind of stating a case for the performance factor of some of these mid-size rides. And you saw that on Bujama's wave versus Mickey's wave. You know, however you're going to interpret it, it's almost like Mickey's wave had so much wave momentum off of it that he was almost outrunning it with the board speed, and you could see the sail just didn't even want to have a part of it. It was a board riding wave. Here's Kai Lenny kind of just getting back into the picture on a picturesque looking chip-in shot. He's going upwind into the peak. I kind of question whether or not he's going to ride this, but he does need a second score. But he doesn't need that second score, really. Kyle Lenny's still trying to stay active here, but he's also playing a wise game of pick and choose, and that would have just been a lump of coal if he'd stayed with it, Rob.
Yes,
that was certainly not what he was looking for.
I agree. That's a smart maneuver by him to kick out of that wave to get back upwind. He probably was looking at where he is coming up from down the line and looking where that wave had started and going, man, I wish I was up there right now because that would have been a good scoring wave. But he did the smart tactical thing to kick out of it. And here we have, it looks like Mickey Schweiger straight off the point here. And he's going to tack out of that too and go back upwind. Everyone's just a little bit too far down right now because there's a lot of water moving out there. There's been a couple of people that were out already just surfing, was talking about how much power was just in the water moving.
All right, well, we've got an in-between moment here. And, I received some sobering news yesterday that I just wanted to pass on to everybody about Attila Tividar, who passed away. He was a mainstay on the AWT from Santa Cruz, and I just wanted to offer my condolences and just a moment of silence to his family and friends around the world. Attila, we'll miss you, buddy, and you're a warrior at heart, and your presence will always be felt out wherever there's wind and waves and anywhere else for that matter. So, aloha, brother. Anyway, also wanted to give a couple shout outs for our friends over in Oahu, Craig Yester, Yardbirds, Mike Slattery, my boy Rush Randall, Brush Handle. Super stoked on you guys watching. And of course, my friend Ian Boyd and his son Max over there in Cali. Glad you guys are doing good. Shouting out. Can't wait to see Max Boyd tear up the ranks here. Let's go back to the lineup. And that's Boujma Guillol. M3 from Morocco, and Kyle Lenny's behind him. Boujma's found the best wave of his heat so far. Quintessential bottom turn. Kind of a snaky, sneaky line off the bottom. He's still going. Let's keep it with Boujma. One more turn sequence as Kyle Lenny sets up. Okay, Boujma's kind of going downtown, a little bit hung up there. Nice ride for Boujma. Let's pan out to Kai now. There's Kyle Lenny. Breaks the chase. He's already had plenty to do on this wave. This is more of the style. Kyle Lenny's done the figure 8 line. Just one turn deserves another. In perfect usage of his board momentum there, Rob. Look how he gets under the lip, full contact. That spray went up. Extra showers not predicted by the weather service.
That was a great wave by Kai Lenny. Unbelievable. He went so vertical on that's going to be a high-scoring wave. Boujma's end to his wave, which we didn't see, was a high-scoring ender, too, because he went vertical on his and did smack that lip.
Might have been a little bit of a moment of separation there in that heat. Boujma certainly needed to do something to separate himself from Schwager. Schwager's still in a position right now, even though he's just hell and gone down at lanes. We don't even see him. And there's really nothing much you can do about it. There's Itibashi. Lest I get talk lipping without talking about our riders riding. Itibashi kind of on a fat midsection wave that offered him something. But unfortunately for him, it wasn't the full enchilada that he wanted. But he is taking it all the way down to lanes, which really might prove to be a mistake if he goes all the way in like he just did. Now he's where Schwager was hanging out. We may never see him again. And it's like if you ride all the way in down to lanes like that, you might just be gone. But Itibashi really hitting it up. Part of that Japanese crew that I'm so fond of. The Omezaki boys demonstrating the Omezaki style. And that is a lot of windsurfing you get to do in Japan. I've been there 3 times. I've sailed Omezaki at 7 in the morning and gotten on a plane and headed to Hawaii and sailed Hokipa at 11 that same morning with the date line.
Did you really? That's how cool is that?
Yeah, my boy, Sato-san, just like, you got to do this because you can. But not that those guys run that program, but I'll tell you what, they're sailing Omezaki like a pack. And they came over here in full force. And Itibashi's the guy who's made it the furthest out of all of them. And in the pros anyway, and he can kind of tell he's a little bit like the lead guy, the lead samurai. He's the guy who's kind of the biggest frame. I think he's got the most power out of him. He might even be the oldest guy. But I'm not gonna put too much separation. They all rip.
Oh, they do, and he's actually a phenomenal. They're all good surfers. I surf with him a lot, but watching him surf the last few days when it's been pretty good size, he's right there. He knows what he's doing. When they have such good boards handling with their boards, surfing and windsurfing. It's great to see.
Yeah, I've got a huge amount of admiration for the Japanese crew. And we were mentioning, you know, the legends of Japan, you know, the Hisao Nakazato and Furuya comes up. And then there's Hideki Makino and Shiro Kanto. And, of course, my boy, Takaharu Kamaguchi-san. Taka. Who can forget him? Katsushi Shinjo. I was getting to Katsushi. And I ain't done there because there's plenty others. There really is. I mean, you know, Ogasawara is the guy who's been the Maui resident. Yes. Also from that tree. But I'd love to see, you know, I'd love to see Taka come back. You know, I miss you, buddy. You're an all-time shredder. And you invented the Taka. And when Taka invented the Taka, you pulled it off, and Dave Kalama and I were watching. And you're like, okay, you got to go buy us a 12-pack because you invented a move. Shouldn't have been the other way around, right?
Exactly.
Well, anyway, Taka's, you know, the humblest guy I've ever met. And all these guys, you know, from Japan, they've got a really strong sense of humility. I forgot the name of the one kid who broke his foot recently. Was that now Hashimoto? I'm not sure.
I thought it was Sugi. I think it was Sugi.
Okay, it was Sugi. Well, anyway, we wish you well, Sugi, and hope you get better soon. Let's pan out to the break because we got Kai Lenny down at H. Poco Point. Promise you haven't missed anything here. Here's Kai Lenny, kind of on a similar line, H. Poco line, but he's deeper in this one. This is a taker. Here he goes, off the bottom, US 1112. Nash Sales, Nash Boards, Hurley, Nike, Tag Heuer, Red Bull. And not all the Red Bull in the world wouldn't have turned that into a scoring ride.
No, it wouldn't have. He came a little vertical and went up too high and just couldn't get that rail around and just went out the back.
Guys are getting stuck in the current. And what you're seeing is that while the riders are focusing on H. Poco Point, there are these ropers that are coming from middles all the way through. And those are compelling, man, because, like, I really like hunting waves down there, up there. If you get the right one, you go all the way through. Like Mickey Schwager's big wave of his heat, and he's just nowhere to be found, guys. He's down at lower lanes. Let me, I'm just working on my screen here. Just a second. Hang on. Okay, got it. Yeah, Mickey's gone. He's gone.
I'm wondering if he may have broke down. We can't see around the corner here because the hill's blocking us around the corner of the rocks. But we haven't seen him probably, 5 minutes plus?
Mickey, you know, has some scores. Yes, Red Bull is not a sponsor. I was talking about Kai Lenny's sponsors. But I'll have to stop doing that because they're not sponsoring this event. So as long as they sponsor Kai Lenny, and I didn't pay for this, so...
Free Red Bull out of it.
I got 2 free Red Bulls out of it. You guys better watch out. If everybody sends me a tweet, I'm going to call you out. Anyway, all the shout-outs, you know, shouted out Ian Boyd. I want to shout out Rich Myers, one of the original California guys, you know, who set this in motion. Rich Myers was coming to Maui, you know, roughly around the same time Ian Boyd migrated. Rob, you're a California to Florida, right?
For California, I'm a Southern Orange County boy, but we all sailed together in California, and now we decided it was better over here.
You're Southern California, and Ian was from San Pedro. If I'm not, Hurricane Gulch was where Ian Boyd came up, and he was my classmate at St. Anthony. And when I moved to Maui in '87, Ian Boyd won the O'Neill, beat Mark Angulo. It was like the heaviest thing you'd ever see as a young aspiring sailor such as myself. And you know that achievement only got recently matched when Barrett Roninger won the Aloha at 16, and I don't remember how young at 16, but you know that's an impressive feat, and that set the standard for a lot of, you know, the guys coming over from Cali such as myself. Kevin Pritchard followed that route, though you would, you know, be forgiven to have forgotten it. And there's even, you know, guys like Casey Hauser, thank you, Wyatt Miller, these guys, you know, in the generation after. So there's a lot to be said for that, you know, as much as the Japan guys. And there comes Mickey Schwager after having a little did he stop at Mama's for a Mai Tai and get back on the horse, feeling really good about his chances right now with 5 minutes to go. You see, Mickey can get back into it. As you look at the lineup, though, and the lineup consists in this shot of Bujima, Itibashi, and a non-competitor on a different brand there. So it is looking like Mickey might get in for another answer here, but there is everything to be played for. We can check our scores briefly. Those of you following back home already have your scores up. But man, this is great. We're competing, Rob, like it really happened today.
Oh, I'm really stoked. I want to let other people on the mainland, like my own family, for example, I like to see them watch this because they don't even know how really good it is unless they see it live like we're showing it now. This is a great opportunity for everyone to see this live cast. It's been put on so well, and I'm glad to be part of it.
The Super Bowl of wave sailing. This is out, this is out where the arena of the gladiators is, you guys. We've been doing battle here for over 30 years, more. And there is a Legion of Honor that gets placed on the mantelpiece here in all the divisions. And legends like Kai Lenny partake in this because they know how to ride Hokipa and bring Hokipa to their side. Just like Kai Lenny's doing right in front of our eyes. Fierce top turn snap to open up his ride. This thing is one of those medium performance rides I'm talking about. Here comes the aerial. Under the section, Kai Lenny frees the fins, but it's not quite enough to fling. But it's a nice looking wave, and a lot went down there on that ride for Kai Lenny just to get to the point where he's safely in the channel with his parents watching safely in the car on the guardrail. Like, they're just waiting. They're like, we can't wait to see him go out. Like, could you imagine being Kai Lenny's parents and, like what he does? He goes at Piahi and just all these gnarly things from such a young age. I remember Martin Lenny, with Kai on a double mast high Kona day. There he is driving his ski in the channel. Like, every little bit counts, Kai, and just a bit. And, Kai's just amping out the most gnarly amped 13-year-old you'd ever see in your life.
Absolutely, and he's a joy to watch grow up because he was mentored by the best, from Laird to Kalama and all these guys, and Robbie Nash, and all these guys have not really pushed him, but he wants to be as good as they are. If not now, I think he's passed that on. I think the mantle is his now.
Right. Well, the reality is if you were only just a windsurfer, paradigm lost, you guys. See the movie, learn about the program, because the program is very, very vast. Here we go. Itibashi on the point. Critical wave for him in this situation. 2 minutes, 53 seconds left. Probably one of the nicer shaped waves for Itibashi. He's going to be able to get the fade line bottom turn. Nice, solid bottom turn for him. Will he make contact? Here he goes with the bull off the right-hander. Kind of hung up. Kind of got passed by, but you know what? He got to do some good stuff there. Itibashi's got a great style. And it's kind of, dare I say, kind of a descendant of the Nakazato, Katsushi Shinjo style of sailing. I'm not going to say he sails like a Japanese guy, okay? But the reality is these guys focused on some sort of sharpness to their style. What is it really?
I think it's regional, like all of us. Anyone that sails in different spots, you have your regional styles of surfing and sailing, and I think that's exactly what it is. Here, you can tell when someone's been windsurfing waves here for a long time because you develop a certain style, and everyone knows your style. Do you agree?
Yeah, regional in the sense like he's bringing a certain approach, and I just felt like the majority of the Japanese riders had this kind of martial arts bit to them. Yeah. I remember Hisao Nakazato's cutback was just this absurd one move motion. I've tried to emulate it a lot, where you get the whole rail and just and you're like all the way across, straight out of Mortal Kombat. Liu Kang. Fatality. We're gonna get into this. There's going to be some fatalities. There's going to be 2 fatalities in this heat because 2 people aren't going to continue in this event. And without seeing the scores, we got slow phones here, so I can't really follow the script of the heat. And we'll find out who advanced. And we can get someone else's phone up and running. But the point being, there is 1 minute left in this heat. And with 1 minute left, upwind of the shot here, as you watch Morgan Noiro go up, we got Bujma on a wave. There's Bujma Giol, all the way fresh from his journey down the lanes and back. Bujma's found a great wave, though, and he's going to get right into the mix here if he can maximize his scoring potential. The wind's really picked up here. He's good and powered. Bujma Giol off the bottom, lots of amplitude. Nice floater with lots of distance covered. Very rewardable. Second turn with a complete canvas opening up for him. Bujma Giol gets under the lip here. Second contact up the lip. Judges take note. He is definitely ripping down the line here. This is definitely one of the best rides of the heat, just in terms of where he came and connected. And I don't care that he didn't make that third contact. That was a solid body of work for Bujma. And I found that to be one of the better ridden waves of the heat. Here goes Itibashi. 15 seconds, closing stanza here. This will be the last score of the heat. Itibashi 360. No meke.
No make a. That was a. But Bujma's wave was a phenomenal wave. You are so right. He hit that thing so well. That floater that came through was so much power. Goes through it into the open section.
Nice heat and way to get through the first heat of the top 16. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors, including the opulent Naluola Ranch. Take a look. All right, we're back. And the next heat's on the water. Lenny and Guillaume advance from that last one. And I'm watching particularly closely in this heat because the majority of my gear is out in it with Maxime Fervier riding it. He's on a 4.7 Blacktip X and my Ahi Flywave. My favorite board, designed by Ola Hellenius. Great. All right. This is going to be Graham Ezzy, Morgan Noirot, Loic Le Sauvage, and Fevrier. And the heat's on. And the heat is on. Pardon me. Don't worry, I won't get to flash dance. RideScoreMobile.com, you guys. That's where the Aloha Classic live scores are. RideScore.com. All right, off the bottom, Maxime Fevrier starting this heat, first ride. Crisscrossing across, trying to get a safe score. Beelining towards the point. Maxime knows that points exist on some of the lesser waves, and he has connected a wave here that's going to take him to the safe zone in the channel after a couple hits, and he's on the board first. For what it's worth. We'll see what the judges give it. He's still going, and my gear's still in one piece, so I'm happy. If Maxime goes down swinging and breaks all my gear, I'm not going to mind. Morgan Noirot, two-time winner of the Aloha Classic on his Hot Sails and JP boards. Right proper, green trees, beautiful bottom turn for Noirot. Under the lip, kind of as it grew fat, here it goes towards the point. All highline for Morgan. He's just all eyes on contact here. Squares off the bottom, solid lip contact. It's the Aloha Classic, you guys. This is no games here. Everybody's playing for keeps here to get to the semis. As Noirot finishes his ride, let's get up to Graham Ezzy, who's connecting the dots up in middles. He's already done a fair amount of lacerating here. Graham has had a great ride so far as he sails. Taboo boards up under the lip. Ezzy with authority and really no body English. That was just pure make. Yeah. My goodness. You know, like the Polacow head bob could have been in play there.
That was a late hit, and he powered it through. That's strength right there.
Absolutely. Graham Ezzy tore that wave to bits before we got on the cast. But that was a huge exchange there. Noirot and Ezzy, solid scores. And here comes Loic Le Sauvage on Goya. Beautiful wave at the point. He's given it kind of a couple check turns just to make sure he's going to make the wave. Possibly ended up a little far ahead of it. As a result, the wave kind of goes flat, and he says, "No merci." Well, Rob, clearly Noiro and Ezzy on that exchange.
Oh, that was a great combination of exchanges between the two riders, and hard to say which one kind of looked better on that. But speaking of Morgan, at the very end there, he was just tearing it up. He came from way outside, just like Graham did too. Good exchange.
Aye, yes. Battle on the high seas commences, aye. You really don't want to judge too much about stuff that like happens right off the bat, but sometimes in heats like this, the momentum starts right away. And we'll see here. I don't have any scores updating just yet. Scores are in. Wave number 1, Morgan Noiro, 8.3. Graham Ezzy not far behind, 7.73. Maxime with a 2.6. And Loic is we're waiting for, though it's not going to be much higher. Okay, cutting to the chase outside. Major set, hitting the point. One of the bigger sets of the day. And Morgan is on it. Morgan is on a set wave at the point. Hi, Morgan. He looks like he's above us. It's amazing. Amazing size. That's an overmast high wave. Noiro off the bottom. Perfectly timed cutback right in the heart of the wave. Takes it all the way downtown. Love his bottom turn. Such good style. Morgan kind of kicks out, gives up. Ezzy behind him. Graham Ezzy all the way in front of this thing at the point just oomphs his way out, and that whole thing went fat, and Morgan's lucky to get over it. Wow. Loic Le Sauvage, though, wave number 3 of this set, he kicks out. And I guess, you're looking at it like, what am I going to do? Just head out for another hour? Or do I kick out and just get a better one? That was what Kyle Lenny did. This is like a 5-wave set, you guys, because Maxime Fevrier, if I'm not mistaken, is on a pretty good size wave himself. Look at Fevrier off the bottom for his second scoring ride, trying to just find the spot where the wave's going to stand up and start breaking. Fevrier off to the races, off the bottom. Simmer style boards and sails for this heat. He's done the entire IWT tour, and as far as some of the specialists who did the entire tour has made it pretty much close to farthest, Morgan being the guy and Kevin being the other guy. Maxine's had a great year on tour. I'd love to see him get an overall podium spot. It's probably going to take advancing out of this heat, and with a ride like that, it's probably going to need a little bit more than that. But I'm proud of Maxime for a couple reasons. That he's in this heat, that he's sailing as well as he has, and especially that my gear is still in one piece.
I agree. Your gear is still in one piece, and that set, had he not made it, would have put him on the rocks because there's a big closeout set that's pushing all this white water down toward lanes. As we look at it right now, looks like on the outside is Morgan. Is that Morgan out there?
Morgan all the way on the horizon. Graham Ezzy's playing the impact zone game now. That's Loic Sauvage, Le Sauvage on your screen heading out. Graham Ezzy's going to work the lineup. And as this plays out score-wise, we'll see exactly where we're at as it updates here. Just hold my phone up and try and get an actual idea. Okay, Morgan Noiro still waiting for his second score. This is still updating. Le Sauvage in third with a 4.17, and we're still waiting for Maxime Fevrier's second score, which should be better than a 2.67. Now, the overall approach here, yeah, go for broke at the end of your heat, but don't necessarily go for broke right at the beginning, right, and blow it all and, walk in your yard sale. What are you going to do? I mean, you got to have a body of work to build on. Guys get this. So it's kind of playing an in-between moment here. As Jake Miller on the drone there, following along. Not as much of a problem with blowing the gimbal sideways. Hey, Jake, you got that a couple times the other. You saw this sideways shot. It's actually the gimbal getting blown sideways, but it's not as windy today, so I don't think it's as much of a factor. It's actually, fairly windy now. This is windier than we ever expected it to be at this point. guys were milling around at like 10 in the morning with just their raincoats on, and like, what do you do with that situation? Like, we're never down here until 11 anyway. It's like all these contest days, we're judging the conditions based on what we see at 10:30. It's like, no, wait about 2 o'clock. 19 minutes and change in this exchange. Noiro looking pretty good here. And Noiro certainly with a 5.5 for his second wave. I can see how the judges come up with that. You know, a little bit of an exchange there. Graham Ezzy with the 3.17. So, I might go as far as to say that the judges have calmed down their scale a little bit. We're maybe getting some numbers in the higher range right away to set the scale off the bat. But, no, things have calmed down a little bit. I think we're looking at, trying to give a little bit of a high end to what some of these scores can be. Maxime Fevrier, 2.9 for his second wave. Everything's all intact here. Where did Fevrier go? Where's my gear? Oh, yes.
You more concerned about the equipment or the rider?
Well, it's both, obviously. The rider riding my gear is what I'm concerned about. Point being that, some people really try to over-prioritize gear in a situation where they should be saving themselves.
I agree. I actually had that situation earlier in the contest when Flora Vergnon used my stuff and went on the rocks right away. But, hey, it's part of playing the game. You lend your stuff out for people to get better.
Very kind of you, Rob. I'd like to think that one comes back to you someday and someone rescues you right when you need it. Eh? All right, upwind. Speaking of, Graham Ezzy with Loic Le Sauvage behind him. Maybe we can pan this shot out. You could get both riders. There's Graham. Graham's heading to the H. Poco Express. Graham Ezzy, USA. Nice opening turn for Graham. Backs that up with a full speed carve. Loic behind him. You can see the exchange here. Graham with a full speed cutty, almost like an accelerated cutback there. Loic's kind of taking his target, taking a while to get started. Here he goes. Here comes the line. This one's got more of a line than Graham's wave. Loic's actually has a lower section to it. Off the bottom, Le Sauvage with contact. And he goes for another turn. I'm not saying he's playing it safe, but he's playing it solid. I like how Loic's sailing right now. Maybe leaving it into the hands of the judges a little. Do the judges want to see a guy play it safe, which I'm not saying Loic was doing, but in comparison to somebody like, Bujuma's last wave of that last heat before, where it's just like everything on the line, every turn deserved another, linking it like that. There could be a degree of separation occurring here. Ezzy's definitely keeping his game solid. Loic had the better wave there. Did he really ride it as aggressively as the other guys? I think the judges are going to calibrate a little. You might end up seeing very similar scores. You might end up seeing something that ends up playing into kind of a half a point battle with everything to play for late in the heat. As far as this heat goes, though, Rob, we have 16 and a half minutes to go. What do you think?
Well, it's still open for everyone, to be honest with you, because there's so much time left in this heat. The issue is getting to the right spot. If you're too far downwind, like you see Loic is now, he's going to have to climb back up this ladder to get upwind to the actual H. Poco spot that you want to be in to ride this great down-the-line wave today. And he's going to have to go and get positioned so he can go make those contacts with the lip. So all the competitors are outside heading back upwind, ready for another exchange.
Definitely an in-between moment here. Fevrier's looking around to try and get into the game here. He's played it smart, though. He hasn't thrown anything away. He hasn't been on the best waves he could find. That's been kind of taken care of by Noiro and Ezzy. And Loic, actually. Sometimes that's just the cycle you're on. There's a three-wave set and you're not on it. Well, credit Maxime for the following. Give a good look at that 4.7 Simmer Blacktip X. And I'll tell you, that sail is a bulletproof sail. All X-ply construction with a PVC window. And we've also shaved the weight, the swing weight from the top of the sail. So what you see with Maxime is very, very easy handling sail for such durability. I highly recommend anybody considering a wave sail that they want to have for more than a couple seasons, consider a Simmer style Blacktip X. Now, as Maxime heads out, there's really not much happening. I mean, this is a slow couple minutes here. You could be riding these insiders, but those aren't difference makers. Clearly, Morgan Noirot has been on some of the best waves of the heat. Clearly, Graham Ezzy's made the most of his opportunities to get into second place, which he holds by a fair margin over Loic. Loic's not quite cracked the 10-point total, and Graham is at 13 total. Morgan at a high 13. So Noirot and Ezzy are close. That's not consequential. This is one of those heats where you're just as happy winning it as you are getting second, because it means you're going into the top 8, baby. Semifinals. Who's your call right now?
Right now, be honest with you, I'm looking at Morgan's kind of leading. He's just got that determination looking, as Graham does too. But there's something about Morgan today, and I've been watching him sail the last couple of days. He's got this little bit of extra aloha, you might say, on wanting to just crack that lip.
I think he's got the mana, is what you're trying to say, Rob. And the mana means that you're in touch with Hokipa and what it can provide you. And somebody who's also very in touch with Hokipa is Graham Ezzy. And Graham Ezzy's on one of the best waves of the heat. Hands down, this is a window maker nugget from the green tree. Here goes Graham Ezzy picking his part to just punch up under the lip and get there. Draws his bottom turn line. He's going to draw this out, try and make contact. It's more like an under the lip snap, but here comes the true section. This is going to be impressive. Right under the lip, full contact, just like his papa David used to do. Right at the same spot. That was a Dave Ezzy type of off the lip. And somewhere Dave Ezzy, Mr. Esmeralda himself, is just going, son, you do me proud. Here's another 4.7 for you. Morgan Noirot, not to be outdone. Clawing, scratching, tearing on anything that he can find. Biting, scratching, and chewing his way through this H-Poco section with Loic Le Sauvage behind him. Here goes Noirot. He's looking for the target. He's looking for the rotational move. Here comes the lower point pull, and it is an aerial off the lip that goes horribly wrong. And Loic Le Sauvage just beginning his ride here, and Maxime Fevrier on arguably the best wave of that exchange. Look at Maxime go. There he goes. Maxime Fevrier really needs to get in the game here. He's got a good camp. This is a nice wave at the point. He's not going to dress up in anything too funky here and play it safe, but here he goes demonstrating his style on the blue simmer. Maxime all the way to lanes. Will it offer him an opportunity to kick out or have lunch at Mama's? Enjoy lunch at Mama's, Maxime. I'll meet you down there. See you in about 10 minutes. All right. You got to take your shots. Maxime clearly at that point was like, I got to take my shot. I have no choice. Now Morgan is in a predicament. He has his rig separated after that back loop off the lip inadvertent attempt. The good news is that he's actually just put it together on his own. He's in one piece. Bert Yalgid telling me it's okay. All right. Well, nervous moments all the way across the board there. Noirot with the little MacGyver job. Let's get back to Graham Ezzy at the point. Ezzy's having a great heat. And can he take advantage of Noirot's little bobble there? Not that it really matters. 10 minutes to go. Right now, it's all Ezzy and Noirot.
I agree. They're separating themselves from the other two competitors right now. And the other competitors took a while. They had to get back up into the lineup spot, and that's why they've been kind of out of the picture for the last bit. As you see, Morgan coming out through the channel, and Graham upwind of him coming out the channel. Morgan ended up down there, got his equipment, like you said, MacGyver style, back together, and is back out in the game right now.
Loic Le Sauvage on a difference maker for him. He can definitely get into the game here with something spectacular range. Here he goes, hitting the downtown button, but he stalls it. Nice rail work to get into that part of the wave. Oh, that cover shot of a cutback there, just a glassy wall. Ho'okipa looking just down the line, fun right now. Great shot by Jake Miller off the drone there. Fancy flying. Aerial video Maui. Give him a look. I mean, I'm sure they don't just do wave sailing. I'm sure it's like, weddings and bar mitzvahs and Christmas parties and stuff, right?
Jake, yeah, they do it all. They cover it from the air.
Drum circles and hippie conventions.
Yeah, drum circles. Yeah, Little Beach drum circles.
SUP yoga conventions. All right. We're getting rolling here. It seems like it's taking a little while, Rob, to get to the point where we have what we have now. Like, it's been this long, extended wait. I've gotten to get pretty fired up here finally. Finally. It's a lot of pent-up energy to get to this point. And it's good to have rippers like Graham Ezzy, Loic Le Sauvage, Maxime Fevrier, Morgan Noiro to fire me up. I mean, Morgan, I'm going to look at that back loop off the lip thing. I'm going to put that on slow-mo because I don't think, did he really try to do that, Rob?
Oh, yeah, he definitely tried to do that.
Wow. Okay, I'll give it to you. Looked a little inadvertent to me. But it definitely was. It looked like a back loop off the lip attempt. And I might want to mention yesterday during the free sailing that I saw Antoine Martin make a back loop off the lip, you guys. I'm not kidding. Did you hear that? Okay, I'm claiming it. Yesterday during the free sailing, I watched Antoine Martin make a back loop off the lip back in the wave. First time I've ever seen it done in Ho'okipa. Now, Ricardo Campello, I know you made a really good one over at Los Roques. And Philip Koster also did a back loop off the lip. So that isn't the first one at Ho'okipa.
No, excuse me, but I'm going to tell you something. Philip Koster's as good as Antoine's was yesterday. Philip Koster hit this aerial off the lip. He was so high and did it so perfectly. He landed in the new open face section of the wave as looked like he was just dropping into a fresh wave.
You've got to be kidding me. So Philip Koster gets the first back loop off the lip at Ho'okipa. Philip, aside from being a world champion, I'm going to give you that claim. I wasn't there to see it, and I believe this man who would not tell a lie. Anyway, historical as both of those are, let's see that move come into the regular rotation of things. That's been on the menu for a really long time. And I think some of these modern boards and their capability within are allowing it. Really impressive. All right, well, here we go. Graham Ezzy takes the lead in the heat here. 14.33. Well, basically, Morgan and Graham are tied. That's a tie. 14.33 and 14.3 are, or maybe not the same. Is it a 0.3 tenth hundredth of a point? Were we really able to do that in wave sailing to differentiate that finely? Well, I'd like to believe so. Graham Ezzy's going to try and separate that, though. Here comes Graham Ezzy, knowing he's in a great position. With 6.5 minutes to go, can just unload on that lip right there and take it down to the bottom of H. Poco Point and unload on that side.
This might get him a little separation from Morgan. You never know. But as Morgan's setting up on the outside, he might be just waiting for the big bomb to come through for him because he's been patient. He's been downwind trying to get back up for a while. So let's see how Morgan pulls into this. He's pumping his sail. Looks like he might have something to work with here. He's got some speed. As you can see by the trail behind him, he's got some planing speed. Morgan coming upwind, pretty much straight out in front of the judges' tower right now. Coming into H. Poco Point. And he is definitely going to be taking off on this wave. Sitting here with 5:30 left in this heat. Morgan's setting up high. He's going to get ready to come driving down. Makes his first initial maneuver. Driving down, good bottom turn off the top. He's going to come up and foam climb this, right through this. He's going to do it again right here. Aerial over in the new section. Morgan's got a nice scoring wave for himself. Watch this cutback right here. And he is sending buckets of water out the back on that one. And Morgan's going to get himself a nice scoring wave on this one. As we see Morgan kick out, and behind him, here, Kai.
Loic Savage had a fairly good exchange on this, actually. Everything happened behind Morgan's wave. This is only the end part of it. He didn't quite get the final stanza of it, but good call on Morgan's wave. The one-handed aerial, I might add to that. He draped the hand. The judges loved that. It wasn't of the Alaskan variety. It was very Hawaiian one-handed variety. Kept it off for a really long time. And, that's all she wrote there for that exchange. Here comes Maxime Fevrier, 4.5 minutes. Definitely still a chance to get Claude in this game. Maxime Fevrier, 4-7, Simmer style, black tip X. And an Ahi fly wave here. Sends it to the peak. Good wave style here. He goes off the bottom. Nice speed, power, and flow. That might be Maxime's best score. We'll have to see about that. Unfortunately for him, I don't think he's really quite in the territory of Morgan and Graham. He might be able to catch Loic, and that will matter. It'll especially matter for Maxime right now. There is a big difference between third and fourth in this heat. Not the difference that being first and second would be. Here comes Graham Ezzi. I think he let out a little bit of a stretch yawn claim, like, okay, now I'm going to open myself. Here comes Graham Ezzi. The sun's kind of shining. The wind's definitely blowing. Here comes a perfect Hokipa canvas to get under the bottom, wind it up, tweaked air, Graham Ezzi, right through the section, up and under the lip, second hit. Nice, late, and aggressive. To me, without the length of ride factored in, Rob, the level of aggressiveness on that ride should be rewarded. And the way I've seen the judges interpret that, that could possibly be one of his higher scores.
I fully agree, and I'm actually going to change my outcome of this because I have a feeling Graham's taken over just on momentum alone. His last two waves were definitely aggressive sailing, and he was just smacking everything.
Absolutely. All right, Loic Savage still in the game, too. This is a lot of waves rolling through here. 3 minutes to go, exactly. Loic Savage, Goya rig, says no thank you to that section and kicks out. That was like somebody gave you like a tasty cheeseburger, but you didn't like the lettuce, so you didn't eat it. I don't know, man.
Couldn't have said that better. Should have stayed with it.
It's like, thank you, drive through without grabbing your burger.
That was so true again. You know what? He really could have taken advantage of that wave and got, just some more scoring opportunities.
Yeah, but maybe he saw out of the corner of his eye that there's a 6-foot set coming in here and that Morgan Noireau's on the first one. And this is definitely another one of the bigger sets of the heat. So give Loic some credit. Maybe he saw it coming. Now, look at that bottom turn by Noireau, who just gets the sail straight Masonville out. His hot sail and his JP board. But boom! That was the low line to high line, laceration line. Morgan definitely stating his case to win this heat and really, really rode that well there. What's happening, and you can see it in the approach here as we get into the nitty-gritty here, 2 minutes to go, is that riders are pushing it here at the end. This is exactly it. You're getting the crescendo of the efforts here. Here comes Maxime Fevrier. Proud member of the Simmer team. Here he goes. Off the bottom, Fevrier. Nice blue-green wall at Hokipa. Safely stays ahead of it and safely kicks out of it. Loic Savage after him. Much nicer wave. Look at the dreamy line on this one. This is a flat-out nugget, Rob. Nice. You listen to you. Got right up there on that. Drawing kind of a side swiper line here. And looking that Noireau's in the channel. Ezzi's pumping on something with a minute to go. Ezzi's the only guy who's going to be able to score here in the waning seconds of this heat. We've got 53 seconds left. Trying to get our scores. Having a little bit of an issue with that. It's between Noireau and Ezzi. We know that. Nothing has changed. It's just who's first and who's second. Noireau has clawed back into the lead. And it's on the merit of his last wave, Rob. Just like we said. And definitely they are rewarding this pushing bit. Noireau's highest scoring waves is his first wave and his last wave. Here comes Maxime Fevrier, who's clawed himself in for the chip in at the point with 14 seconds. This is your final exchange. And Ezzi's outside of him as Maxime kicks out. So stick with Ezzi here. Right off the bottom, that's his first ride. First cut through the section. Here goes Graham Ezzy trying to look around the corner. Nice full-on man hack there. That's my buzzer buzzing. The heat's over, but this wave's going to count for Ezzy. And there's nobody else in the heat doing anything. So that is the exchange, Rob. And it's Morgan Noiro taking it and Graham Ezzy booking a spot in the top 8. Congratulations, guys. They join Bouge Manguiol and Kai Lenny as the first half of our top 8. Stick with us here at the 2017 Aloha Classic. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. And we're back with our fearless leader, Samantha Bittner. All right, Sam. Thank you for working so hard on the Aloha Classic here. I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart that this is happening and give you a chance to say something before we call this heat.
Thank you, Kai. Thank you for your support all year round and the support from everyone that's watching around the world, especially, hi, Mom. I love you. See you at Thanksgiving. Enjoy the show.
Yes, thank you, Sam. Off your screen is Robbie Swift doing what pros do, riding a wave at the horn to start the heat. And I can't say enough about the level of professionalism that Robbie Swift exhibits on and off the water. And it's great to have him doing this competition. I feel that Robbie's, fairly ingrained in our Maui community here. UK's bright hopeful for a Wave World title amongst some other strong contenders, no doubt. But Robbie's the guy who lives here full time and really has a shot now. Is that not Bunt Roediger?
Yes, it is.
Oh my goodness. Here we go. The Samurai off the bottom. Cracks the top and does a goiter right into the pit. And saves it. Ladies and gentlemen, we might have our first 10. I am not kidding with you. That was high level amplitude on a level unprecedented in this contest. And the Samurai has spoken. And he has opened up a huge, huge standard to begin this heat. I take you back. That was a vertically hit air goiter over the section. And he pinned that and he pinned the air. Judges, I'm sorry, you probably need to give that a 10. That was super gnarly. Wow. Arigato.
Can't wait to see that first scoring on that one, huh? That was unbelievable. Pat never seems to amaze me. Some of the things he pulls out of his little bag of tricks right at the right time.
The judges are catching their breath, and we'll see what drops there. I'm really interested. That is what it's all about. Spontaneity, speed, amplitude, high nines. 9.7. Okay, 9.7. Close. Highest score of the event. is it not?
Absolutely the highest score of the event.
9-4 for Sivers 360 antics. Okay, here comes Jake Shedaway. 16 years old, vying for his first top 8 performance. This is already the furthest he's gotten in a wave event. He doesn't back down from the section. Oh no. Jake Shedaway might actually have a 1-2 combo air going here. This is going to give Swifty a really strong run for his money. But as of Bant's first wave, the rest of the pack is playing catch up. And Bant's going to do this. I'm telling you right now, Rob, it might be a while before we see him on another wave. And he is going to go caviar connoisseur on us.
I agree. He can relax right now. That 9-7 has put him so far out in front right now that he's just going to sit outside and probably just be patient for another big scoring bomb like he just had.
And it's really serious levels of confidence that's going to allow you to start a heat like that. This is a quarterfinal. We all know what Bant's upside is, and we're seeing it. And that's one of the sickest things I've ever seen him do in competition. I'm going to put that ahead of his, the mystical Taka that he pulled 5 years ago. That right there was elite level on one of the top things that's ever been seen in competition at Hokipa. Bant Rodinger. Huge start to his heat. Okay, and we've got other all-time shredders in this heat. Robbie Swift included and Camille Juban included. Right now, Juban's trying to set up on his first wave. He may or may not know what just went down. But here goes Robbie Swift upwind. At a very nice position to be up at Green Trees. Bottom turning under this, hooking under, and getting to the part of the wave where it can connect the dots here. Swifty's second hit. Swifty looking for his third hit. The wave grows fat. It offers him the opportunity to get up and under. 360, no make. Unfortunately, here comes Camille Juban. Opening turn of his ride. Full contact going into H. Poco Point proper. Camille dives in. He gets under the lip and goes too vertical. And unfortunately for Camille, he couldn't visualize that one through. He drew the line. His eyes had the look. He looked at the line, but it was just not to be there. He had all the right ideas. Swifty's swimming for his rig. This is not good for him. Whitewaters are crashing down. That's a different kind of a postcard we're playing today right now. This one's come to Hawaii. Throw your rig in front of the rocks and watch it get destroyed to pieces. Swifty is one whitewater away from going on the rocks. It's about to happen. Here goes Morgan Raro after his heat. Doesn't count. Inconsequential. Swifty is essentially going to skate here. He just escapes going on the rocks by the hair of his British chinny chin chin. And while it might not be time for tea, but he has definitely still got to hang on here. He's fine. He's fine. All right, Camille Juban. Simmer Blacktip, Quattro boards, a lethal combination if I don't say so myself. Here he goes off the bottom to atone for his opening score. Camille's trying to make it happen here. Off the bottom, trying to get something here. Drawing his line. Jake Shedaway outside of him. This wave's going to hit the end part of the wave. And Shedaway off the bottom as Camille smacks his ending hit. Shedaway's in the best part of the section here. Here comes Jake off the bottom. Hot Sails, JP boards, same combination as his idol, Morgan Noiro. Here he goes. Nice amount of spray off the cut back. It's definitely a claw battle. Just a huge exchange here. Swifty went for this 360, didn't make it. Camille's kind of had 2 swings and 2 misses for what it's worth. I don't think either of those 2 waves demonstrate what Camille's capable of and what we're going to see from Camille leading into this. There's plenty more to play for. Lo and behold, we're back. Cacciadorian and Funk bringing it to you live here at the 2017 Aloha Classic. This is what it's all about. This is the day we've waited for, the entire 2-week waiting period to get to the crescendo of where we're at, and here we go.
And we finally got conditions. Better late than never, but we're in it. This has been the best day of conditions for the whole contest, in my opinion.
Yeah, it has. There's been some high moments, but this is everything combined. Here comes Bant Rodinger, and he's definitely got himself a backup wave here. This is a nugget coming into the point. Not too big, perfect spot on the reef. This is going to offer him an opportunity to get a second score. Bant Rodinger off the bottom. Classic Hokipa bull hit with a little bit of extra body English with the board, not him. Secondary, little bit of rail sticking, nothing to be ashamed of. Probably as good as some of the other competitors' highest scores. Definitely a backup score for Rodinger. And with 19 minutes to go, plenty to play for here. Absolutely wide open. Bant's got a really high score to start with. Robbie Swift coming in there as well. Bant Rodinger doesn't have his second score yet.
No.
But he needed a 2.6 to be second and a 2.63 to be first. And if that wave was what I thought it was, it's probably pretty much in first place. It was better than a low, too. As the scores update, I'll take you through my impressions of this heat so far, and it has to do with 21-year-old, two-time Aloha Classic winner, Bant Rodinger, sponsored by Nash, Quicksilver. We'll see if there's anyone else. I'm tempted to talk, but I'm not so sure that is exactly the case. So, long story short, another sponsor's dream right there. Somebody who does all the sports. Bant Rodinger, very well-rounded. Was out here SUPing earlier today, catching some great waves, along with Kai Lenny, who is paddling. Here goes Robbie Swift. Great angle from the drone, brought to you by Jake Miller, Aerial Video Maui. Off the bottom, Swifty, first exchange. 360 Swifty, couldn't get it back in. Wanted it bad. Wanted it really bad. Okay, we got a score update. Bant Rodinger is, in fact, in first place. Heat total 17.1. Robbie Swift is in second, very narrowly ahead of Jake Shedaway. They are fractions of a point from each other. That's your breakdown in this heat. Kamiju Bonds in an unfamiliar fourth place spot. And clawing and scratching and biting and tearing whatever he can find. This is a stacked heat by any stretch of the imagination. But ladies and gentlemen, when you have Bant Rodinger starting off with the best move he's pulled in competition in years, he stated his case, semifinals and beyond. And the judges know this. And that doesn't make it impossible for someone else to even win this heat. But Bant is in control here. The thing that he can't control are the waves, but he can control who gets the ones he's looking at. And he's let Jake Shedaway slip inside on something, but Bant's actually ended up on the biggest wave of this exchange. And here we go. Anticipation up here in the tower because Bant Rodinger is on a beautiful bomb with Swifty behind him. Bant Rodinger, US 1113, off the bottom with style, as if it's Sunset Beach on Oahu, fading down the line. Here he goes, sets his line. Nowhere to go, really. Wave closes out. Robbie Swift behind him. Much better looking ride. Not much more potential there, but Swifty's going to continue it. As Rodinger kind of got trapped on the inside, Swifty's actually got something to ride, and outside of him is Kamiju Bond, who is now turning his way down the face here. Let's get on Camille, please. Thank you. That's not, there we go. There's Camille heading down to the bowl. Does he have a target acquired? Camille, target acquired. Target kind of ran away from him, unfortunately. Here he goes down low, under the point. It's a tough sledding for Camille right now. This is a tough heat and a tough situation. Rodinger gets slammed in the channel as Jake Shedaway sets up off the bottom. Turning across a much more workable situation. He kicked out of an earlier set opportunity. Here goes Shedaway off the bottom here. Punches his bottom turn with a little bit of a funky angle to it. Not necessarily 100% lined up, but instead of kicking out, he goes in front of the whitewater. A kick out would have been the thing to do there to get yourself outside of this soupy mess that you're in now, that Bant Rodinger is just sitting there swimming in. Kamiju Bond's just struggling to make it over whitewaters. And Robbie Swift is harvesting point waves. He doesn't even need to ride this wave. 15 minutes left in this heat. the third one in round 4. We're definitely getting some looks here, you guys. I mean, there's a lot going on in between these exchanges. And one of the things I am noticing is it's kind of hard for these guys to get outside.
It really is. I mean, there's so much water moving. The wind's really light on the inside. So the last 3 exchanges, all 3 competitors got into the inside as Bant did, and Bant paid the price for it. But look at Camille. He's stuck on the inside. The only one that's outside right now is Swifty. Swifty playing it smart, kicking out when he should, and he's in a safe spot. He won't have to deal with anyone for a few minutes now.
Swifty owns the lineup. It's as simple as that. Our other 3 competitors are stuck on the inside in a cruel, cruel place to be when you've got these kind of sets swinging in. But that kind of almost looks like the end of that set sequence. And let's check our scores here. Bant Rodinger remains in first place, 16.77. Robbie Swift in a narrow second place, 12.33 versus Jake Shedaway, who's just playing 12.3. I mean, that's just crazy close. That's closer than my Masters final. That's just ridiculously close. And Camille Jubon, 9.16. So his highest score is a 5.33. Camille basically needs, he's comboed. He's gonna need some Camille magic here. Now on the outside, we got Robbie Swift, K89. Proud father, top-notch lad. Very, very consummate professional, Robbie Swift. One of the world's top wave sailors. Beautiful Hokipa wave. Got caught just like with my mouth open and how stylish that top turn was. Here he goes, though. I can get a little more fired up with that contact, but no. He wanted the 3. He might have been swinging for the fences there thinking, okay, this will win my heat for me if I make it. Could he really be that confident that he's in second? It's hard to say. You really don't know what's going on when you're out there. You don't have somebody in your ear hole going, okay, you need to do a vertical 360 in the pocket to make it through with your 5.5. Yeah. We were making jokes one of the years. Francisco Goya had actually gotten rigged up by Pio Marasco and Scott Sanchez had him on a remote radio. So he was like being told basically by remote control what to sail. And then Pio Marasco on a double mast high wave got in the mic and said, hit it. and Goya hit it, but he was like so rattled that it wasn't Sanchez telling him. So they did away with that experiment. I always thought that was a really funny story, actually. Yeah. We're in an in-between moment here as we're watching Antoine Martin, the second person ever to make a back loop off the lip at Hokipa. Philip Koster being the first. And he is right in front of the rocks in a rather undesirable spot, but not the biggest whitewater coming down on him. So I don't think he's going to pay the price like some would in that position. What I am seeing out of the corner of my eye as Swift sets up for this is some of the sailors in the next heat are having a tough old time getting out.
Same with the ones in this.
And Bant is all the way down where Itibashi was, middle of lanes. But he's punched out. And still leading with 11 minutes to go. Rob, take me through this point of the heat. What's going to happen?
Well, if I'm Bant Rodiger, I want to get my butt upwind as quickly as possible because he doesn't know he's leading right now, but Swifty's right there. Swifty's one good hit from jumping up over Bant right now. Jake Shedaway, if you pan down there, all the competitors are trying to get out through the channel. They have a lull right now to get out. So they're all heading back out. Camille Jubon is out. He's sailing upwind on the way outside. But for a while there, like we said, Swifty was the only one that was outside. He was staying smart, and he had no one to compete against for at least 2 to 3 to 4 minutes on that one. So here we are setting up. Swifty's on it. Swifty coming in front of this cloud of whitewater, coming around the corner. He's going to come up top. Nice off the top there. Doesn't smack him, but didn't need to. He sent enough buckets of water out, and there he is. Another nice turn off the top. He's going to come driving down for this lip. Going to come up, smack, and do a nice big floater over the top. Will he go for the new section? Yes, he will. And he's going to come up and float it again. This could be a good scoring wave for Swifty. Swifty's coming all the way into the channel. He's going to try to do one more hit, and that's enough for him.
Great way for Swifty, and the judges are set to be able to reward him for it. Here comes Camille Jubon on his simmer blacktip and his quattro board. Jubon with a high boom angle approach allows him to hang and carve very tight. He can definitely get the scores. This wave doesn't look like it's fully offering him the opportunity, but anything can happen as he draws off the bottom. Kind of wanted the 3. You knew he wanted something. And unfortunately for Camille, this has just been as hard as it gets for him to make it happen. You can't be home cooking or whatever else you're trying to do. That's Bent Rodinger here at lanes, working his way upwind very smartly. Always knows how to get back into position. My goodness, Barrett just came from the middle of lanes to the channel in one tack by doing that back to sail.
He always does. That's his signature maneuver, getting upwind. He'll ride that basically like a goofy footer going front side on a wave, and it just pushes him so far upwind, he takes advantage, and then he's already in the right position to sail back out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, take a little bit of an approach to the backwinding and you can make it through and have that to go. But, really, it's those smaller things that can play out in a heat when you got 8 minutes and change left. And the scores are what they are. I mean, it's Swifty and Rodinger in a pretty commanding position. Rodinger's got roughly 2 points on Swifty. Rodinger's one solid score away from jumping way out ahead, though, because of that 9-7. Rodinger basically just has a low-scoring backup wave if 7 points is going to be considered a low score. I mean, I'm just talking about his scale, right?
I agree.
Okay, well, Bernd Rodinger does have a wave. I'm kind of thinking he's not taking it, though. And he goes back to sail, which is his way of saying, no thanks, I'm going to stay upwind. And at this point, once Camille clears, he's going to be upwind of everybody because Camille's on a wave that we'll see what he gets out of it. Camille's smartly staying upwind on it. This is actually going to offer Camille a pretty good opportunity. Here he is. Fades into it. Camille Jubon, totally capable of big things. Couldn't get the angle off. He's looking for the 3. I'm telling you, Robbie is. There it is. Up and over and in. Kabam!
Oh, there's your high-scoring wave.
Camille Jubon on the board. And I told you he was looking for the 3.
Oh, boy, how good was that? Talk about clutch at the right time. He's coming in. It's still got plenty of time, but he needed that score to get back into the ball game.
That's back in the game. It's going to be a solid score. It was a vertical 360 off a couple turns. He's very relieved he has this. Camille can lift off his shoulders a little bit of that inherent pressure here. He's putting the pressure on Swifty. And he's going to need to back that up because here comes Bernd Rodinger on an absolute nugget offering, which doesn't compare to Swifty's wave, which looks like it might grow a little fat on him. We'll see what Swifty does here. This is kind of make or break for both of them. And this favors Jubon here because neither of those guys opted to go. 6 minutes, 40 seconds left in this heat. Tooth and nail battle. Here comes Shedaway. He tacks out. Jubon is in the game. No two ways about it. With that 3, he is in the game. The judges are going to reward it. We'll see exactly with what very shortly here. Has that updated, Rob?
No,
not yet. Okay. Now Jubon's score drops, and it's an 8.23. Be very careful if you're Robbie Swift because Camille only needs a 6.1 to make the semifinals. And he's got 6 minutes to do it. Swifty is definitely the guy who's in the scopes here. Bernd Rodinger is relatively safe here. Jubon can get into this right now. He can sink his teeth in here and summon Hokipa to his side. This is when you're going to see it more so than ever, you guys. You're going to see how guys are able to bring Hokipa to their side. It doesn't take much. You just need to listen to her. You need to listen to what Hokipa is trying to tell you to either be patient or go upwind in that one, read that outer groundswell the certain way, and everybody is going to be given the opportunity, including Jake Shedaway, who's been a little quiet in this heat, but not for long, because here comes a really nice turn from Shedaway, and he is no stranger to the 360 either. And he punches off the bottom on a wave that's going to be a little less hollow, and Shedaway finishes his ride. Outside of him, as Shedaway kicks out, begins Bernd Rodinger. Under the lip, antics for Rodinger. First hit of the exchange coming down to the point. He's got lots of wind in his sail. Gets under the lip again. Hair flying. Harness dragging. Camille Jubon on a big bomb hit behind him. This is the difference maker for Jubon. He just crushed a mast high lip. Down the line, Jubon. All to play for. Second vertical laceration. Jubon's on fire. One-handed cutback, nothing but style oozing out of our Simmer style rider. Jubon again tore this wave to smithereens. Right there, you guys. He's in the game. That's got to be better than a 6 in my book. I don't mean to be giving you scores, but Jubon ripped the Aloha out of that wave. You guys, Camille Jubon, well-rounded water sports athlete, unbelievably good surfer, very tight with Keith Duboul on the design, and what you saw there was some of that board design theory coming to work. But let's go back out to Robbie Swift, who has exactly what I'd be looking for, and this is a green tree nugget all the way up top. Robert Swift off the bottom with a lot of energy on his heels. This is his chance to just bash something fierce. Robbie Swift off the bottom. Can he make contact with an over mast high wave? He does, and he pulls the sail out of the white water. That's going to be duly rewarded. Just for the fact that he hit that mast high crevice. It didn't offer him anything more, though. And I'm just kind of dejectedly wondering if that was kind of like all for naught. He needed to match something of his best score. I don't know if he did it with that. It started off great. Brant on the point, opts out, doesn't quite say he's going to accept that offering. 2 minutes and 52 seconds as we anxiously await Camille Jubon's second score. It was lost a little bit on the webcast when we followed Shedaway there, but Camille was cutting up rug behind. He crushed that second wave. And they're waiting here. They're going to give it the proper consideration it deserves. 8.23 for the 360. He needs a 6.1 to be second. He needs an 8.55 to be first. Rob, I think it's somewhere in between the two.
I agree.
I'm really impressed with Camille's tenacity to start off slow, but he knows the game. He's stone cold, you guys. Camille does not get too high or too low. He stays in this zone, and I really respect that about him because he knows where his happy place is. Trust me, he's confident in his gear. He's never been on better sails. You know, it's the truth. He's had a few sail sponsors, but since he's been on Simmer Style, his upside has been realized. That has a lot to do with Keith Duboul shaping the best boards he's ridden. It's there to be had, and I called it. We have a battle royale here. Camille Jubon, in fact, is in second place, and he is right on Bernd Rodinger's heels. Get this. Bernd Rodinger total 16.77, and Camille is at 16.73.
Oh.
Okay, so it is right down there. Like, again, my Masters final, I won by 0.1. That's nothing compared. This is by down to the hundredths of a point. Wow. That's nuts. And I believe that Camille deserved the score. I mean, he lacerated that wave. You didn't see the whole thing on the live cast, but it was live. It was just one after the other. One turn deserves. Guy Lenny did this earlier, but Camille really exemplified how a steep bottom turn, in the steep part of the wave, you get the acceleration off the next section. Sorry, Rob, I didn't mean to elbow you. And then, like, just crank the turn one after the other to come into the section and get it done. Is that my boy KA111111? All right. We're going to have Polikow come in here and call the final heat of the round after this heat's over. And that's good to see Jason here with 20 seconds to go. I don't know if he saw everything that just went down there, but I will get him up to speed as we're pretty much done with this heat, guys. There's 12 seconds, and unless Camille shows intent to ride here, we have seen one of the more dramatic situations come to fruition, and Camille is going to have this ride count. There's the horn. Camille showing full intent to ride, and so does Bernd Rodinger. So our top 2 riders in this heat are going to end on a wave ride, and Camille's kind of on this in-betweener, and Rodinger's on another window maker that looks like it's going to break all the way down to Kahului. Wow, Camille with just a vertical laceration again as the wave hits the point proper. Really steep riding as Bernd Rodinger, are you really going to hit that? My gosh, you guys. Okay, Camille going to town. So the whole situation here is Camille doesn't know if he needs it or not, but he didn't need it, and it's going to lead him to kind of having a bit of a rough go out on the way out.
Have a rough go out on the way in.
All right, well, it's all good. Rob, thank you for joining me. And if Jason's ready to come talk, you ready? Yeah. Come on up. Thank you for, talk to you soon, Rob.
I'll be back.
All right. Joining me, one of my favorite partners in crime, Jason Polikow, the legend, the all-time event winner. You've got the most wins total in Who Keep a History, buddy. Okay. Welcome back.
Oh, thanks, Kai. I've been watching the live feed back at home, and conditions are going off, so I had to get down here.
Yes, you did, and I'm glad you're definitely sorely missed in this lineup. Final heat, Jason, is actually a 3-man affair because Maurice Malk decided he needed to do a stand-up paddle event, or he had a commitment, so he's not here. So this is Levi Siver, Kevin Pritchard, and Antoine Martin. 2 are going into the semifinals.
Yeah, that's a tough heat. That's quite a stacked heat for a quarterfinal, so that's going to be good to see what goes on. From checking the conditions out online, it looks really tricky out there. The big sets are kind of rolling through and closing out. It looks to me like the kind of mid-sized ones are the ones to pick. There is the occasional big bomb set that peels, but generally speaking, it looks like that the mid-sized ones are the ones to get.
Yeah, that's been playing out as far as like rotational maneuvers and stuff, Jason. Those are the ones that are opening up. Those big bombs are just running fat into the channel, but they're tempting, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. Whenever you see a big bomb out there, you want to catch it. But the boys have been doing really well picking off the right ones. I saw Kai had a really nice wave earlier on the live feed, and I saw Camille just parking in the car park. That ride he had must have been about 8 or 9 point ride right there.
Yeah, he has 2 8s in his pocket.
2 8s, yeah.
So Camille making it through that heat with Bernd Rodinger into the semis. Here comes Levi Siver as we start off the last heat in this round. Take it away, Jason.
Yeah, so like I said, Levi's got like a mid-size one. Actually, it's quite a small one, and he's gonna go on it. Kind of interesting because that is really a small wave, and there he goes. He kind of caught a rail there and decided to jibe out. I think that was a really smart move.
That was. You can't force the issue that early. You lose all your judging momentum. They're like, you wrote that thing? Like, why? Yeah. Anyway, Swifty had a great heat. He's not going to make the semis. His contest over. No, it was a tight shave there. It looks like Camille nipped him. Right. But here's your other guy, Antoine Martin, on the outside. If we can get up to green trees, please. That's Swifty. There is Antoine Martin. Another one of your top riders, Jason, and he is on a tear as he gets the full head. What was that? That was the head look back air with the one-handed drag, and Kevin Pritchard behind him. Antoine Martin just going nuts on this glassy face. Here comes Pritchard as we see Antoine finish his ride with a make on the... Oh, Taka to make, and Pritchard kicks out. Antoine is dangerous. He's got an upside that is elite level, Jason.
Yeah, you can see, how tricky the conditions are. If you got a replay, you can see Antoine just had that down the line all the way, and Kevin behind him looked like it was on a better wave, but it just didn't pan out. So it's a real, a lot of guesswork to really get the right wave. And we've got Levi at the back actually right now. He's on another mid-size wave. Looks like it could shape up to be pretty good, but it looks like it's going to maybe close out a little bit. He's going to try and hit the section. No, it kicked out. And another smart move by Levi. You can see that wave there. It really pitted out. Real fat end section. So Levi saw that and kicked out.
Yeah, Levi's going a little bit connoisseur's choice here, as he should. Kevin also selecting one of these well-observed medium-sized waves. Jason, look at how this one lined up at the point. KP straight off the bottom, our defending Aloha Classic champion. vying for his place in the semifinals here, trying to get out of the top 16. This wave was worth the wait, Jason. Here he goes one more time on his KP signature model starboard, heading for the channel. Not a whole lot of contact, and actually ultimately maybe a good way to start the heat, but definitely not going to be the difference maker it needs to be with the competition that's out there, even with one sailor missing.
Yeah, and like I said, it's such a tricky day to pick the right waves, and Kevin is the king of that. He always is on the right wave. And but that one, like you said, Kai, he just wasn't in the right place at the right time. But still, it was probably a decent score for a first wave, I guess.
I'll give that.
Yeah.
Here comes Camille coming in on his Simmer black tipping quattro board. He's going to catch the good news that he's in the semis and clawed his way through that. That's a rough battle. There's all been gnarly battles, Jason. I'll tell you what, this has been one of those battle kind of royale contests. This one's no exception. Antoine Martin, kind of fat on the point there, not in the right spot, but Levi Siver next to him. This looks like something more of that medium variety, Jason. There's a lot of these medium nugs here. Yep. Siver's going to slice this one decisively. Here he goes. Waits for it to hit the point. Levi Siver, Goya sails, quattro boards off the bottom, kind of a safe bottom turn, setting himself up for what we know might be coming. Gets it off the bottom, more of a tight hook snap, didn't quite have the crown of the peak. Siver still waiting to do the business here, up and under the lip. Nice amount of contact, very rewardable. Not going to be, the difference maker, but definitely on the board finally after lots of selection. And here comes KP, who's starting to get on his roll, but he's not going to take it. That was kind of a warbly mid-size when you see that ripple coming through the channel, Jason.
Yeah, look, that one that Levi had, I thought for sure he was going to pull the 360. That was the perfect time, but it was, first wave for Levi. Obviously didn't want to fall off. Today's a difficult day. You don't want to lose your rig, so, Levi opting to be a little on the safe side and just hit the wave still very nicely. He's going to get a decent score for that for sure.
It's a pretty interesting dynamic that, it's three sailors vying for the top two, and it's still just a super gnarly battle. Here goes Antoine Martin, hanging up top with Kevin Pritchard behind him. Martin sets up at the point, gets his board sideways, might have gone through that section, kind of trying to get below it, drags his arm to stall. Looks like the second wave of the set may be a little more preferable as Antoine finishes his ride. Here comes KP, vertical laceration, lots of spray. Definitely a good sequence there for KP, who's kind of getting rolling and going pick and choose. Here comes a section looming up. It's not quite doing the same thing Hokipa normally does, Jason. This is a northeast swell direction. You can see it kind of hitting the point and rolling fat. What did it look like at home?
Actually, it looks good on TV. I was super excited. I was actually in the gym this morning and I saw you guys, you were about to get going. So the conditions look great online. Yeah, looks great. But no, it's definitely tricky out there. Like you said, Kai, it's got that north component. So if you're not going to get that right wave that has the wall on the outside, you're going to get like a fat section. That's hard to work with a fat section and get good scores. So like I said when I first sat down, it's all about like wave selection today.
It's all about wave selection. That's kind of been the mantra of this entire event, Jason. Ultimately, and the thing about it is this is kind of one of the longer period situations we've had with some of these like shorter period days. I can't even tell you how confusing it is out there. You think you're on a good one and it just turns into this lump of coal and you're like, what happened? And then you see the guy you're going against drop into a nugget that didn't even look like anything on the outside. It's very deceptive, and it's definitely, guys like you and I have got a lot of Hokipa experience. I said it, you put it to work. And here comes Antoine Martin, who might not be, a supreme veteran of this place, but he's got that experience now, especially in the competition arena, knows how to play the game. Here he goes, off the bottom. This time he's going for nothing but sheer contact. The angle of the wave didn't quite give it to him, but here he goes as it hits the point, trying to get some momentum to get under the lip here. And instead, Hokipa kind of said no. Yeah. Not invited to the party, Antoine. Not yet. He's not in that position right now, is he, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, that was a tough one. It kind of, wasn't in the right place at the right time. But his first wave, I think, was a good one. He got that all the way up from the top. The wave stayed open for him. Actually, what did he get for that score?
Trying to lift the scores right now, and we'll see how my Verizon handles that.
Yeah, I'd say that probably Antoine probably has the single highest score there on that first wave out of everyone for now.
Okay, here's the breakdown. More dramatics. And Levi Siver's in third, and his two scores are low, a 4.6 and a 4.3. Antoine Martin's in second, a 6.5 and a 4.8. Kevin Pritchard, 6.1 and 5.5. And the breakdown between first and second is they're both in the mid-11 range. Kevin has an 11.6, Antoine with an 11.3. Absolutely right about Antoine's first wave. That's very key here. And Levi. Oh wait, did I see a 7 for Levi as one of his scores just before my phone kaputted? It's kind of an interesting breakdown on how the judges are perceiving. You'd like to think that people set the scale early on. And sometimes that happens. Jason, you ever ridden a wave like early in a heat and thought, oh, I got a decent score, but then you come back in and it's like a super high score because it's the first thing that happened?
Yeah, I've had both. I've had, ones where I thought I did well, and then the opposite where I've had ones where, the other way around. So, it all evens out in the long run, I think. Just got to see what the judges like on the day of the event, see if they're judging aerials or like more maneuvers or just top to bottom sailing, and just kind of work along those lines and try and create points like that.
Well, considering that I'm a huge fan of you and your sailing, I just wanted to compliment you with a shake on what that ripping you did down in Indo.
Oh yeah, it was fun. Yeah, Indonesia was great this year. Went to this remote island and we managed to get 2 really good back-to-back swells and just in amazing conditions. When the tide drops out on those Indonesian reefs, the waves get so glassy and smooth. It was great time.
It looked sick, Pausa. Here goes KP. As he sails, starboard signature KP model up at Green Trees with Levi shadowing him. This is all the money here. KP holding on to his lead here. First initial hit off the peak. Second hit. This is a well-read sequence. Is he going to catch up to it, though? It is questionable at best. I don't think he is. Here comes Levi Siver. Under the lip Siver with a little bit more open face to work as Kevin's not going to make this wave. Levi under the lip of a mast high wave crushes it at the peak. Judges groaning with approval. Siver on the board for sure. Lip climb. All of that stuff was done in the critical section, Jason. And there's Antoine. Take me through Antoine.
Yeah, Antoine's got a nice wave out the back. It's going to shape up pretty well, I think. He's going to get a couple turns here, and then it's going to kind of close out, but he might get one good hit. Here he goes, screaming down the line. We're going to see big things from Antoine. Always totally goes for it, and no exception right there. Tries the goiter and goes down. But, yeah, good 3 waves there from all the boys.
KP really had the opening 2 hits, but he got boggled down. He didn't make that wave.
Yeah, it's going to be a close call between Levi and Kevin in my eyes. Kevin had that really good smack air, and so did Levi. Levi had a little bit more to open with, so it's going to be 2 really good scores for those guys.
I would say Levi's best score so far.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
So Levi Siver, we'll wait to see what his score is on the board there. But the bottom line is, with 17 minutes, Jason, he's on the board the way he wanted to be. It's interesting, Siver, he's playing this on his terms.
Yeah, Levi's the quiet achiever. He knows this place so well. He's done a lot of events here, and sometimes it's like that. You get a slow start, and you got to kick it into another gear. Halfway through the heat. And other times you get lucky, and you get the start of the heat. You get a couple of nice bombs, but with Levi, you always know he's going to get 2 8s or more in the heat. So when you're against him, you've just basically got to go for it.
Fact. And we both had some battles with old Siver there. Luckily, many of mine were when he was much younger and inexperienced. You kind of want to draw off that because at this point, these guys are savvy veterans. And, you look down at Kevin, down at lanes trying to sail out right now. The position's going to matter, even with 16 minutes. It's a pretty wave-rich environment, Jason. But those really good ones, those medium ones that are all the way up top, I've only seen maybe like 4 of them in this heat.
Yeah, there's a lot of waves out there, but there's not a lot of good waves. And like I said, you just got to try and find them, and you just got to be in it to win it. These guys that kind of tack back and forth. I think that's a pretty smart thing to do. There's a lot of time left on the heat in these heats. Like what are they? Like 20 minutes or so.
28.
28. So everyone's got a lot of time. So these guys that are tacking back and forth, just waiting for that right wave. I think that's the way to go, and that's what you see Kevin Pritchard. He's the master at that.
KP definitely stating his case to go back to the semis here. Our defending Aloha Classic champion. And, it's a suspenseful situation as we see Antoine Martin is likely trying to claw his way into contention here. And it's hard to say what it is between Siver and Martin right now. We will see as my phone slowly updates. Here comes Antoine Martin. Take it away, Jason.
Yeah, he's on a mid-sized small wave, but you could shape up okay. Let's see what he does. Kind of a little fat there. I don't think it's really going to be much. You know, if I was him, I would have probably jibed out by now, but he was probably going to see it through. No, he's going to jibe out. That's a smart thing to do. You know, there's not that much wind down the inside, so if the wave's not that good, best just to get out and go back out and get another one. So, you know, yeah, little in between sets right now, but I do see something coming way outside. A couple of big lines.
14 minutes left in this heat. What are you doing? That's non-competitor Sarah Hauser. She's just getting a feel for the conditions. That wasn't riding intent, though. I was beginning to wonder if she was aware of that, because we did have one sailor get fined, actually, in the event. Yes, we did dole out a.
Was that Ricardo? He's
not No, it was not. It was a Norwegian guy who probably didn't really know all the rules.
Right.
You know, the funny thing about this Norwegian guy was, he told me about the $50 fine, but then he had also gotten fined in Norway for rescuing his friend at this bird sanctuary. $900.
Wow, but don't go into bird sanctuaries then, right?
I guess not. And, top that off with a little slap in the face for your $50 fine at the Aloha Classic. I mean, you got a couple. Anyway, it is what it is. Here comes Antoine Martin, Titoon, Neil Pride, and JP. He's a very aggressive rider, Jason, and at this point in the heat, with an opportunity like this, I expect to see some fireworks. Here comes Titoon off the bottom, representing Guadeloupe. Kind of a full head of steam, but he needs to accelerate into something, and is there something lower? Just kind of no. Wave selection just really playing its hand in this. And he's never been on one of those upper ones. Even though this is a lower section here, he's matriculating his ride, throwing as much as he can. And is it creating the level of separation that needs to happen for him to state his case? What did you think about that?
Yeah, no, I think that Antoine probably should have just snuck out of that wave like he did the previous wave and just get back out there and get something good. You know, there's lots of waves coming through, and I think that one just, just wasn't it, basically. So, but, Antoine, he's a crazy man. So, getting to the latter part of this heat, I think Antoine knows that he needs a second good score, so I think the fireworks are gonna come out towards the end of this heat with Antoine for sure.
Absolutely, his two scores are 6.5, 4.83. Those are his first two rides. Now Siver's in the lead in this heat, 15.96 heat total. Kevin Pritchard now in second with the 14.46, and that's a fairly commanding lead over Antoine in third with 11.33.
Yeah.
So
what did Levi get for that? Levi and Kevin get for the last two heat scores?
They traded off eights. Levi's was an 8.9, and Kevin's was an 8.33. So they traded eights relatively. Yeah. But here comes the next exchange, Jason. Here comes Kevin Pritchard up at the green tree, kind of. Take me through Pritchard's line, please.
Yeah, it's hard to see right now. The wave in front's kind of blocking the view, but it looks like he's on like a mid-size one. It could be shape up quite nicely. It's coming up into the midsection. Bottom turn from Kevin. Could be a nice line-up wave. Look at that. Nice little ripper off the top. A little bit late. Comes down to the bottom again. Coming through this end section. Now let's see what happens. Looks like he's going to get a nice bowl down the end. He's going to go for it. Here we go. Nice big air from Kevin. Landing nicely. Another nice turn off into the channel. That's going to be another good score.
Antoine behind him.
Yeah, Antoine again. This actually, it's going to be smaller, but maybe it might shape up. It looks like it's going to have a little fat section again at the end. Like I told you, Kai, I think Antoine feels that he needs a score, and he was trying a 360 right there. Kind of in the wrong spot, but, he knows he needs something big to get back into the top two with KP and Levi leading the way.
Yeah. You can tell that Antoine senses that he's in third in this heat, I think is what.
I think so. Right. Yeah, definitely.
And it's hard to know when you're out there in the heat. Maybe that's narrowed down by the fact that there are three people in it. So he's kind of got an idea that he's seen the exchanges. He's kind of been on the lesser end of these wave selection processes where he's kind of on the other part of that, the swing. Levi's been getting up from his escape from lanes. That's taken the better half of 5 minutes to achieve. Levi's finally back in the lineup and in the lead. So chasing worked out for Levi. Generally speaking, if you're chasing a wave all the way to lanes, that's almost like an admission of defeat. But not in Levi's case. Levi's case, it was actually the right thing to do because he's left the lineup essentially for Antoine on his own. And here goes Antoine again, who's picking up the scraps, so to speak. That's a tasty looking scrap in my book, but still kind of a point scrap wave. But Antoine's the guy in this draw who has the upside. For instance, the one-handed goiter. Or that. which was what I don't even understand what he just did, Jason. What was that?
Yeah, I'm like, what was that? Like a tucker into another tucker and a half? I don't know what that was.
That was like Morgan Warro's Oiseau.
Yeah. But the problem with him picking off these end sections, you only need to get 1 or 2 turns. You really need to get back up into the middle part of Hukipa there and get some of these waves. If you want to get an 8.0 or an 8.5, Antoine needs to get out there and get one from middles all the way down through to get that score.
Spoken by the legend himself, KA1111, Jason Polikow. Originally Torquay, right?
Yeah, Torquay,
Torquay
yeah.
That's a surf town in Australia if there ever was one.
Totally.
And Point Danger and all the places you get to sail over there made it formed you into the fierce competitor you are. And it's great to have you here giving us a little color here for the 2017 Aloha Classic quarterfinals, last heat of this round before we go into the women's semi. And Levi Siver with a lead in this heat. Now, 5 minutes later, finds himself back on a nice point wave, a medium-sized wave, Jason. And here he goes. He's got the line right here, drops in right on time for the Siver Express to go down to the point. Here comes the section. Siver sizes it up, gets under it, tries to punch the 3, but not enough. You could see he kind of lost his amplitude there.
Yeah, he was trying to get around that section to get that 360, but the wave ran on him and just wasn't quite in the right time. And we've got Antoine here. Looks like a pretty nice wave. It's going to close out. Let's see if he can do something huge here and pull out a big score. Setting up, coming down to this end section now. Let's see what he can do. Bottom turn, wave's gone a little fat again. Possibly, here we go. Nice mover here potentially. Another kind of tough wave, it's
so tough.
Yeah, sometimes it's not so much, what you do, but what the wave will give you. And, if the wave's not going to give you too much, if it's going to push away like that with that bit of north component, it's really difficult to do anything, So he's trying, but just not finding the right wave.
He's putting in a huge effort, Jason. I'm sure you're proud of him to get this far as it is.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. He's a top guy, and I always like watching Antoine sail because he never holds back, and if he sees a 10-foot lip, he's going to hit a 10-foot lip. So he's quite the guy to watch when it comes to heat scores for sure.
A little bit of a difference these years, especially this year. I sense a lot more confidence out of Antoine. This isn't new to him. He wants it, but the point is that he's not so overwhelmed by it, Jason, like he might have been a few years ago.
Yeah, I think in the past, Antoine, he'd have one 8.5 or a 9-point ride, and then his other wave would be a multiple of wipeouts and crashes. And I think he's matured a lot since then, and he realizes he needs to put 2 good wave scores, on the board. And he's definitely matured a lot for sure. And you can see that in his sailing now. He's taking backwards and forwards, just trying to get that one last good score. For his overall.
I concur. Here comes Kevin Pritchard. All of a sudden tangling for second and first with Levi Siver. Like I said in these other heats, I don't think anybody really cares in the top 2 who won or got second as long as you're making it to the semi. Pritchard reaching all the way up, almost to green trees, a little bit of a lower ball here. Gets a good off the lip smack on that one. That was a nice square hit. Right into the second one. Kevin's got this flow going with these hits. Puts him a little behind the section. He probably can race through this one. There goes KP. Vintage KP performance here. He's looking like he's pretty much booked his way into this semi. Part of this too, Jason, is as Kevin rode this wave, do the math on whoever else is around and line it, but he did keep someone else off of it.
Yeah, that was a great wave by Kevin, actually. Yeah, 2 good hits there. Got a little caught behind the section, got around it, had a few little turns at the end. So it's going to be a pretty damn good score.
Yes, sir. There comes Levi Siver looking at a drawn-out line. Tacks out of that. Tactical battle here. 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go. For sure, nobody knows exactly what the scores are. But you do have an idea as you play it through in your own mind and you see, you don't spend your heat watching someone else, Jason, but you kind of do have an idea.
Yeah, for me, when I'm out sailing and I see competitors, catching set waves, I can look at the set and the sailor on the wave and I can see whether the wave's going to be, roll through, decently or not. So you do have an idea from looking around as to how you're doing, and you can see that with Antoine. I think you can see the the urgency that KP and Levi have got the stronghold on this heat. And you can see that in Antoine Salling. He's trying to do goiters and 360s to get that magic score. So hopefully he can pull one off.
I know who you're rooting for. Fair enough. I was going to say, I was just trying to making the observation. It's almost as if KP and Levi have ganged up on Antoine.
Yeah, I mean, KP and Levi are probably the two toughest competitors that you can go against here at Hukipa. So it's a very tough heat for Antoine. But like I said, he's got the talent to do it. Just needs to find the right wave.
He certainly does. It's not over yet. We saw Barrett Rodinger in his first round heat or his second round heat just scrape 2 scores with about 4 minutes to go, something he's well known for. That didn't happen in his last heat, Jason. You saw, if you missed it, you'll see it on the replay, but Barrett just had this crusher goiter, just a massive error right at the beginning of the heat.
Right.
To get a 9-7.
Wow, 9-7, that's a huge score.
Yeah, and I mean, you start a heat off like that, you set the tone, you do everything. I don't think Antoine really had the opportunity to do that, but he's got the upside to do it. He's made a gorgeous one-handed taka, and as I was remarking, I watched him do a back loop off the lip yesterday.
Yeah, that's what Antoine's signature move. Him and Ricardo, I think, have that down.
I got to get to work on that. Here comes a big exchange on the outside in the form of Antoine Martin kind of bucking Levi Syverov, the biggest wave Martin's been in this entire heat. So here we go. Kind of one of those fatter waves that Jason and I might not have opted for, but when you're picking the scraps, you don't complain. Here comes Antoine off the bottom, T-Tune. A good little hit through the whitewater world. That's fine. He gets through it. Works his way kind of bouncing through the channel, a little bit of turbulence, if you will.
Yeah, it's that wave really just ran out. I mean, you can see the whitewater line that it left behind it. It basically was just a closeout, and Antoine did the best he could to try and get the as high a score as he could. But again, just not finding the right wave, and it's so tough out there. I tell you, we can sit up here on the cliff and be like, oh, why didn't you get this wave and why didn't you get that wave? But when you're out in the lineup and you get a day like this, it's you think it's a great wave, like you were saying earlier, Kai, and you get to the inside and the wave just pulls away from you. So yeah, it's really tough, and Antoine's put on a really valiant effort to try and get some scores. And what are we down to? About 2 minutes. So
2 minutes and 30.
Yeah,
It's Antoine's calling away. It's what I've kind of seen happen throughout this contest. Hukip was deciding it for you.
Yeah, no, totally, absolutely. And I've had so many days out there, like and heats as well, where I think I'm on a kind of a shitty wave. I get to the inside and it just opens up and just peels through. I'm like, oh, thank you very much. It's amazing.
Just like you planned, Abe.
Yeah, absolutely. But we've got like a minute and a half left. Let's see if Antoine can manufacture something. He's on a little wave now, but he's quite far down in the channel.
He's heading to Mama's Fish House.
Yeah, he's way down
I
there.
don't know, maybe buy him lunch for his efforts, Jason.
No, he did well.
Yeah, I mean, we won't write him off with a minute and change on the ticker, but my understanding of where the seat's at, it's a little bit out of reach for him. And
what kind of score does he have to manufacture to pass Kevin or Levi?
He needs a 9.46 to be second.
So we're looking at like a 360 into a goiter, into a couple of turns, duck drive into the channel, right?
Plus us calling a 360 into goiter with the body drag.
With a body drag, yeah. Well, here goes Levi. Levi's on his last wave. It looks like it's going to shape up to be maybe a little inside nugget. Let's see what he can do. I bet Levi's going to be trying to do something fancy like a goiter or a 360 right here. Nice little aerial, check aerial. He's got this little end section here, but yeah, he's going to stay with it. He knows that he's down to, the end of the heat. Here we go. 360. Oh, almost. Yeah, you knew Levi was going to try that at the end of the heat, right?
Yeah, what do you got him on remote control, eh? That would be fun on a big day to remote control someone into some of those big hits. Well, yeah, Levi's, again, on a good wave that Antoine might have wanted, but he did the following. He kept him off of it, and then he tried to chip away at a score that might or might not have made a difference in this heat. And it probably didn't. And, with 30 seconds now, here comes Antoine Martin, the warrior himself. He's going to give this one more try. He's trying to get that mid-9. That's going to put him in the semis. Jason, I'll give it to you here.
Yeah, I mean, what did you say? 9.4, you were saying, Kai? Yeah, I mean, I really don't think he's going to get that on this wave. It's a very, very small wave. He can't do anything about it. He knows that it's the end. He has to catch this wave. I mean, he's got to do something incredibly magic. But if anyone can pull it off, Anton can. Here he goes.
10 seconds.
He's coming down the line. He's going to be doing something ridiculous. Let's see. Nice little check turn off the top. Coming down into the last closeout section. Another little float, but yeah, that's just not going to do it. I'm sure he's going to be frustrated. Yeah. Oh! Into a nose dive. Did you guys see that? We've got to replay that.
That was full amplitude.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's not hurt. He's looking around like, what happened?
Yeah. 20-year-olds don't get hurt, mate. They just bounce off that rig, right?
Evidently, when your bones are made out of rubber. Jason, thanks for joining me for this heat, and stick as long as you want. We'll kind of get our results, but it seems pretty apparent as KP finishes off his little salvo there that it's going to be Kevin Pritchard and Levi Siver moving on into the top 8.
I'll come back later.
Thanks for joining me, Jason. He'll come and join us possibly for the semis if we're going to last that long today. Funk, what's up?
Well, just a little update for everyone. We're going to be running these last 2 women's heats, and we should be done for the day. And probably, with our luck, the way the wind's going, we might be done with the wind for the day too. And we'll head in to resume the action after these 2 women's heats tomorrow morning around 11. But stay with us for this because we got 2 really good, professional, exciting women's heats coming up right now. And we're going to go to a commercial. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Have a look at Naluola Ranch. And we're back. Here comes women's semi number 1. Sarah Hauser, Fiona Wild, Shauna Kropas, and Maria Andreth. It's going to be a battle. And the horn is blown, and we got 28 minutes to create some separation and find out who's going to make our women's final. That's Antoine Martin. Don't be fooled. He's very graceful, but he is not a woman. And he certainly doesn't sail like one. Ha 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 ha.
How was that last maneuver, his one-handed taka?
One-handed taka into the flats with the splat. It'll make the highlight reel. It's going to make the edit, too. Right on, Funk. Thanks for joining me once again here at the 2017 Aloha Classic. You know, a slew of companies to talk about. We always talk about, the board and the sales sponsors, but, the other important things are the components. Like a company like Chinook or Streamlined, this is life and death type of stuff here. That we put our lives in the hands of these guys who make this equipment. If my uni's going to break, God help me. And both of those companies in particular have been making very strong components for the windsurfing industry for quite some time. Quite impressive amount of carbon content involved in that and some really thought out stuff. And I just wanted to give a shout out to those companies in particular. No Limits right in the mix there too, make some pretty cool masks. And we have a lot of respect for anybody in this industry doing it for all the right reasons, trying to make the best gear available, and definitely worth a shout out there. Now, on the outside, here starts our exchange. And that looks to me to be Shauna Kropas, who is starting off her bid to make her first final ever. Shauna off the bottom on a beautiful Hokipa offering. I thought she might have been thinking that we thought that she was going to hit that lip, but she thought twice about it. Outside of Shauna is Sarah Hauser, who does a beautiful mid-face slash on a good-sized wave. Sarah showing her adeptness at timing and her aggressive cutback. Sets that bottom turn for another beautiful cutback. Sarah's ripping and opts wisely to back out of that. That was a very key decision for Sarah. Fiona Wild on kind of a lesser offering, less critical, less walled up ride, but still a really nice ride. What happened there with Fiona was she was given a little bit less of an offering. Sarah ripped her wave.
Oh boy, did she. That was one of the best bottom turn off the tops and cracking that vertical lip. What a maneuver by Sarah.
Sarah, no stranger to this lineup. It's been about 5 years that she's been around here and has made a strong impression on the women's scene since then. And it's kind of funny to think it's been 5 years. There's still a new face in this crowd. And in that position last year, right at the top echelon of this division, and coming back hungrier than ever. Her movie Girl on Wave is a great piece of work. It's a very feel-good piece about her life story and her environment up to this point. She's only adding to her legacy here. Someone like Shauna Kropas has been in the game for a while, and what I'm going to say about Shauna right now is she's in this position of opportunity that she hasn't been in before. Fiona Wild coming back from injury. A great story for her. Another multi-sport athlete in this discussion. Fiona Wild, also one of the few females who consistently makes contact with the off the lips in the sailing. And rounding out this semi is Maria Andres, who's been coming here and really has devoted herself to Maui. Maria's benefited from this because she's one of the stronger sailors out here and is making her bid for her first final. So all four of these women truly deserve the accolade, but only two are making it.
Oh, absolutely. And you're so right about how these girls have progressed out here. And like Maria, she didn't know this spot very well, but with so much time on the water here, she's getting looks and feels much more comfortable out here. Same Shauna. She's put in the time here. This, to be honest with you, is the best I've ever seen her sail in a contest. She's just really putting it together.
I really want to elaborate on that because you're absolutely right. And Shauna's always had this upside to her, but sometimes I think that she gets a little too psyched in the heat. And, whatever point she's in mentally, it's working because what I'm seeing from Shauna is the quiet confidence. She knows what she can do. She's not reaching outside of that envelope at all. And while she's not, necessarily flavor of the month or whatever, she's putting it together. And so is Maria Andres, who's on this wave here, looking to make it happen. Maria really needs to open up here and takes a pretty safe line down to the point so she can really fade into this properly. Maria kind of gunning it for the channel, actually, Rob.
Actually, I think she's gone a little bit ahead of the wave right now. She might want to lead the wave and come back upwind because she's got herself really out of position. As you see, this wave is kind of, it's moving up, but it's a lot of water right there, and it's not going to really throw in jack for her.
There's a party at Mama's Fish House, and anybody who goes down that far just entered the party early. Now, that's kind of your exchange. Maria definitely, ran for the hills there. And now, unfortunately, Rob, she sailed too far in because now she's put herself in a predicament. But that's not who's on your screen. Who's on your screen is Fiona Wild sailing out, who actually, unfortunately for her, ended up having to jibe out of that. The scoring as follows. Sarah Hauser in first place with a 7.33, which is a big score. Shauna Kropas with a 5.67 for her first score. Fiona Wild, who kind of had a bit of a rattling experience on her warm-up here, ended up on the rocks right off the bat. It was no fun to watch. She's gotten herself out of that predicament. Here comes Shauna Kropas. Take it away, Rob.
Well, Shauna fading into this wave, gonna let it build up for her. She bottom turns, nice little roundhouse bottom turns. She's staying in the right spot. She's staying high on the wave right here. She's gonna take a nice high line, good off the top there. She did a little early, but that was good positioning for her. She's staying right with it. She's right there at the shoulder, bottom turning. She's gonna have a nice scoring wave off this little swell action here. The best thing, this little wave is just peeling right for her, and she's getting just a ton of turns. Now, you might see her leave the wave right about after this wave. I'd say she would leave, and she does. But that was a great scoring wave for Shauna. Unbelievably good scoring wave.
Yeah.
So,
Shauna definitely backing up her score, and that's what everybody's objective in this heat is going to end up being, to get that backup score, but at a certain standard. You never want to really just ride anything. Wave selection at this point in the day is going to be utterly critical factor here. There's no two ways about it. You're not going to get a chance to get on the best wave of the heat all the time. You've got to identify it, you got to know what you're looking for, and then stick to your plan. And we've got another competitor here setting up. It's Sarah Hauser on a pretty nice wave on her Simmer Blacktip and Taboo board. It's getting a little lighter, but Sarah's not affected by it as she hits the point here on her second scoring attempt with that trademark Sarah Hauser bottom turn, keeping her rail pointed down the line. Here comes Sarah, second charging bottom turn. Nice spray off the tack. Is she going to save that with full control? That's really impressive from Sarah. You know, I really didn't have any words with her today, but what I noticed, she's walking around with this kind of like she's ready to do battle. I didn't need to say anything. Proud of her for doing that right there. That was a big turn in a situation where she needed to really stamp her authority on it, and that's going to be another really good score. Here comes Fiona Wild, sail work, starboard combo. Fiona with all the amplitude in the world to get right back in this, but on a little bit of a lesser wave to do it with. Fiona knows the game. There's 18 minutes left in this heat. Plenty to play for here, Rob. But that exchange is going to go to Sarah Hauser, and it's going to put her in the lead in this heat once we get the score from that ride. And that cutback was like a under the lip kind of a kick, like and then held it. Actually, lip slid. There was a lip slide for a little bit, and then she held it. Very impressive. You do not see that level of style and agility mixed in a whole lot. And the other thing about it is she's got speed.
Oh, she definitely had speed, and that you called it right on the head. When she came up and hit that, her rail grabbed perfectly. She didn't let her board spin out and go sliding down the face out of control. She pulled it back in, and that's why she got the score that she did. That was a great wave.
Absolutely. All right, Jake Miller is going to launch the drone. Aerial Video Maui in the house. And the drone is up. And the bird's eye view continues. I haven't seen the gimbal go sideways one time. Pat Rodinger having a little snack. Pat Rodinger is going to have a little visit. Rob,
I know, we're gonna
let's bat in here real quick. No. Okay.
I don't want to.
Bring it home. Pat Rodinger, massive performance. 9-7 on that first opening salvo. Take me through that.
Well, quickly. I was watching the commentary from my last heat, and I was like, wow, that is really embarrassing. So I wanted to start off the heat a little differently.
Fair dinkum. And we've got action on the outside here. That's Shauna Kropas stating her case to make her first final. And you've got kind of a battle here between, everybody. Sarah's kind of got a commanding lead, but there's definitely waves coming in. So there's lots of scoring options here as Shauna kind of pops over that lip. And Fiona with her first scoring opportunity to grant her best wave so far. Barrett's paying attention here, who plays the game. Absolutely looking good, though. And it isn't really one of those things where you care if you're first and second. I mean, it's bragging rights or whatever, but you just want to make that semi, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, ultimately, we always talk about it. You want to prove what you can do. And you want to say, like, okay, this is the conditions, and I can handle it,
What was that 9-7? Was that a goiter or it was a goiter coming over, right?
I don't know.
Okay, but the thing was, you punched it vertically. So you, rose up, unwound yourself, and came down with it. I can't wait to see the highlight reel on that, and I can't wait to see the live stream replay because I freaked out, dude. I lost it.
Yeah, it was one of those last-minute kind of decisions where you're sort of, flowing through a turn. You think, oh, I'm just going to go for an air, and then you start to eye the section, and you're like, well, I could do this. But it definitely was an odd rotation because of the way that I set up for it. And then that's what made the landing, so weird, but kind of interesting, and I don't know, I was stoked.
You came out of it like it was a forward loop, and I've seen Campello do that, where it's like you unwind, and then you're coming in just tail plant, and it was just on, and you plane out of it, and you hit a big aerial off of it. It's 9-7. I was telling the judges to give it a 10. I'm sorry, I thought it was a 10. I got, I like you, Brent, a lot, and, we're not sponsored by anybody, in common, so I don't have to, juice you, but that was a 10 in my book, man. Great sailing, buddy. And the semis, you know, take me through your mindset here. We're probably not sailing it today, but slowly climbing into it. We'll get it after we call Sarah's next wave here. Why don't you take Sarah's next wave?
Well, Sarah's definitely got a good one. It's one of those nice sets that's going to line up all the way through to the end bowl. There's a couple that don't, and this is definitely a really great first section. Oh, wow. 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 Props to Sarah. That was absolutely sending it, and she's paying the price. Oh, goodness gracious. That's going to be on the rocks for sure, I think.
Luckily, it got caught right there. Now, let's just focus on what happened before she hit that. She actually batted that lip, and it's very uncommon to see, you know, anybody, you included, go that late.
Yeah, that was unreal. You could tell she knew she had scores, so she wanted to elevate to that next level, and wow, she really sent it for sure. Unreal. Props to Sarah.
Huge props to Sarah. Woo. Somebody get in there and rescue that rig, man. Woo! Yeah, well, that's going to be that little interlude in the heat where you wonder, what if, and Sarah's not on yet. She's swimming for all she's got, and that rig needs to get out of there right now. Here we go, you guys. It's playing out upwind. It's basically the perfect situation because she might just get away with this. Oh, no. Anyway, there's nothing else going on in the lineup per se. And Sarah's rig looks like it cleared. I mean, Mana from heaven intervened, and Hukipa's like, you know what? We're not going to punish you for that. We're going to actually let you skate away from that. And it looks like she is actually not going on. Amazingly enough. Because everybody would have gone on in that. Here goes Shauna Kropes again, stating her bid to make her first finals appearance at Hokipa. Neil Pride, JP Ryder. This is a connector. This one's kind of going from the upper corner through. Polikow was up here earlier, Ben, and he was remarking how the higher scoring opportunities are actually these medium ones. Yes. Do you agree with that?
Totally. I got caught on a couple of larger sets where I was kind of looking down the line thinking, there was
that one bomb, and you were just kind of one turn, and you're like, huh? Really?
Yeah.
And strangely, look at Sarah's predicament here. She's getting sucked out in the rip. Yeah. Oh, no, that's not her. That's Maria. Okay, Sarah's on the ski. What about the rig?
There's Fiona on this one.
Where's the rig, Rob? Okay, so it's not on the rocks. Here's Fiona Wild off the corner here. Let's focus on present tense action. Fiona definitely on the best wave of her heat. Yeah. And this is definitely a difference maker because if she bats the lip or goes vert, cuts to some rug here, she's going to be in a good position. And definitely has the surf style thing down. Relatively critical positioning. Definitely a lot of flow. But Sarah's first turn in this heat was just this critical cutting thing, really based on what she sets up off her bottom turn. And that's the thing I kind of want to emphasize here is the bottom turn sets the table for the rest of the ride with Sarah. And she definitely lets that set the pace. And right now, for hitting that lip, she's going to be highlight reel status. And really the respect of everybody on the beach for doing it. And maybe she's even maybe a little bit mad at herself for doing it, but it was worth it.
Totally. At some point, you got to kind of take that risk. I mean, it was the same thing with my goiter. You know, it could have gone either way. I think if I would have gone on the rocks on the first wave, I would have been pretty pissed. But I'm stoked that I went and did it.
We're very stoked. And that's the spirit of this contest. This is the Aloha Classic. This is the Super Bowl of windsurfing. This is the event that people remember for all the right reasons, for the various performances that happen, the historical, fact about how long-standing the tradition is here. The quote that from our last interview, last time you came up here, it's in the culture.
Very true, very true. And I mean, as far as the next heat that I have going, the semifinal, it's stacking up to be pretty nuts. I mean, I have Kai, Morgan, and Levi in my heat, so that one's going to be intense, and I'm definitely going to be nervous. Looking forward to that heat for sure.
That's a gnarly heat because you're in it, Barrett, just as much as those guys. And believe me, they're looking at you going, okay, work cut out for us here. Now, I'm watching Sarah's rig being carried up, and except for a sticker that's not necessarily applied perfectly, it looks like it's in good shape. Now, Sarah, not in exactly scoring position here, might still be in the lead in this heat. And we'll see what she got for her second ride. That's kind of been waiting to play out. Sarah Hauser is, in fact, in first place here with a 15.26, 7.33, and 7.933. She got a 1.3 for the lip hit. Yep, she's out on her spare. Impressive. It's how we roll, Darren. You just get right back out there. But look to the outside as we watch Sarah Hauser and the drone angle from Jake Miller here, Aerial Video Maui, providing you the finest perspectives of wave sailing in Maui. Let's pan to the outside because there's like an 8-footer coming in. There's just a window maker. And Fiona Wilde is on the lower part of it. She's actually going to catch the last stanza of this, but she opts out because it's kind of looking like one of those fatty kind of...
Yeah, that's a smart move. I mean, there wasn't a lot of potential there with that one. Again, that's kind of one of those sets that we were talking about before where you're not really seeing too much happen with it. Oh my gosh, here we go with Fiona. Again, opting out. I think, how much time is left? Oh, she's got 9 minutes still. She's good.
Yeah.
She doesn't need it for sure.
She's playing this in part in defense. I think Fiona realizes she's got some rides on the board. She might not be watching the whole thing unfold. Maybe she thinks she's in first or last. I mean, it could be any of the above, where she's at mentally. The point being is that she's not going to throw the heat away on a mediocre wave. She's going to find the quality peeling wave and then do what she does.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Fiona's always been a really smart competitor as well. So I really feel like the time winding down here is only going to kind of elevate that.
Yeah. 8 minutes and change in this heat. This is the road to the finals, the first women's semi. And Sarah Hauser's definitely had a rough go. She's getting washed in the channel, but not before dropping a couple of solid sevens to be in first place in this heat. You can be in first place and swim down there and end up in Mamas or whatever else is happening. But right now, this heat is a battle for second and third between Wild and Kropas. Maria Andres, she checked into that party at Mamas a while ago, but she's trying to get upwind, pretty much out of the picture.
Yeah.
Basically, Maria got on a good wave, kind of a fat set, and went all the way to the channel, and then didn't kick out in time. Got caught inside, dealt with the whole ordeal of being caught inside, which you know well. We all do. And then just now is starting to enter the lineup with 7 minutes left. The littlest decision, Barrett, can affect your whole heat.
Oh, for sure. I took that one set in my heat, got cleaned up to the inside, and I looked at my watch. I said, okay, I've been here for like 5 minutes now. And that takes away a huge part of not only your scoring potential, but it gives potential to everybody else too. I mean, you can't play defense, you can't catch their waves. And it's frustrating for sure, and it definitely set the panic for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get back out there and start catching waves.
The judges, I noticed in that heat, there was definitely like a couple waves that, people were going on the express train down and doing the smooth thing. And then a wave came in where, it was ripped to pieces based on like two really solid aggressive turns in the pocket. Just what Sarah did on her second wave, which is her highest score. The judges are seeing through the express train thing. Yeah. It's great. Length of ride's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I get suckered into it every day. You go all the way down the line and run away. But the point is, two big hacks right in the pocket and back it up with something. That's what we want to see them. That's what we want to see.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I definitely think that sailing Ho'okipa a lot, we get so many west swells. We get so many closeout days that when we get like one northeast swell like this that's coming through, we all of a sudden see that like long line. We're like, oh, dude, if I can get like 8 turns on this wave, that's going to be like a 10 for sure.
You get mesmerized by it, but it's the bottom line is you're so in your own little world of down the line guy that you've actually like taken away a couple of lip hitting opportunities. If you make contact on every hit, every corner, you just go tag and lip climb. I saw you do great lip climb in your heat, and that's different. That's not down the line express train guy. That's like not straight off Adolf. You're looking at the silent assassin. I've been calling you the samurai.
Yeah, I heard that in the one heat, and I was laughing so hard. I was like, you know what? I could roll with that for sure.
Okay, good. I'm glad you like it, because you are. Here goes Shauna Kropas chipping in at the point on a bomb. Second wave's even bigger, and Fiona's on it. This is a huge exchange. Jake with the great drone angle. Awesome drone angle, Jake Miller. Shauna Kropas. Here goes Fiona Wild down low of her. Shauna's finishing her wave. Fiona's just like, nah. Oh, Fiona. I feel you. I probably wouldn't have hit that either. Maybe. Maybe not. Probably not. Fiona now is going to be in that predicament, though. And it's like you're swimming. And what's going on here? I see that Shauna has lost her rig and is stuck in the rip. And today's dangerous for one thing and one thing only, is that the water is sucking back out. And Shauna's definitely not that comfortable right now. And the ski kind of has an eye on her. But right now, Shauna's got to take multiple waves on the head here in the middle of the channel. She's not in a good spot at all. Sarah Hauser's basically all but disappeared from the picture. And you're looking at Fiona, right? Yes, who's swimming on the inside. And this is just Shauna, a little further out, has now ducked under like 5 really solid whitewaters. Fiona's just trying to stay off the rocks. This is that in-between moment where I'm really happy to be up here on the live cast watching.
All right, dude.
Thank you, Brent. Awesome. Good luck in your semi.
Thanks so much, Kai.
Bent Rodinger, consummate competitor, gnarly shredder. Thank you for your time. It's good to get some color from the real shredders here. Yeah, what an in-between moment. Shauna just took multiple whitewaters on the head, and she's gassed. And that ski couldn't come at a better time. Casey, where's Sarah?
Going for a swim home, I think.
Okay, well, at least you guys live in Kuau, and you can watch the rest of this heat at home. Because with 3 minutes and change, it's over. But Sarah's going to win the heat, all the most likely based on her rides that counted. What a show from Hauser. What do you mean that can't be right? Wow. Shauna Kropas gets on the sled, trying just to get into her rig. Highly recommended that she takes that ride. I would not stay out there in the channel whatsoever. These type of situations bring to mind a certain heat that got canceled in a round once when Sarah Quito Fringa took a 10-footer on the head and got into some serious trouble. So it's not that, safe either. Not going to differentiate. A pounding is a pounding. And right now, Shauna Kropas really took a pounding. So I hope she's all right. She's going to get back to her rig. We've got our safety patrol on the spot, on the ball. Everything's looking good. We got 2 minutes left. And in front of us here is Maria Andres, North and Fanatic, getting back into the picture. This will be her second scoring wave of her heat. And it took her basically 25 minutes to ride 2 waves. That tells you how tricky it is out here, guys. Maria Andres off the bottom with Jake following her on the drone. Cool little surfy style, kind of a joyous, happy style, if you will. And I think she's just happy that she's not swimming in the channel as she makes her way back to the aforementioned channel with 1.5 minutes to go. That's probably it for Maria. It's kind of a heavy amount of sequences out there. I can't see Sarah Hauser. I haven't seen her for 15 or 20 minutes. But she's in first place in this heat. And in second place is Shauna Kropas. And I think we're waiting for a score from Fiona's wave. But I don't really remember it being one of those really difference maker scores. What did you think about it, Rob?
Well, it was just after Shauna's wave. Shauna had ridden the wave in, and she came inside, and the whitewater just engulfed her, and she lost her rig on that, and it was mast-high whitewater. And then Fiona was on the wave, literally right behind it, and it was almost like a mirror wave, did the same thing. But Shauna got a good hit off the top, but couldn't really do much. I think Shauna may have gotten the edge on the comparison of the 2 waves, just because of the fact that that she had driven down and came through that way where where Fiona couldn't really do anything with it because it was just mushing out on her.
Well, honestly, you guys, with 20 seconds to go, there are no competitors in this heat that have anything to do with the lineup anymore. Fiona Wild's swimming out in the channel, and we might as well go to commercial here. And I want you guys.
Welcome back, everybody, to the 2017 Aloha Classic Maui. We're in our final heat of the day for the women's heats, and I will be letting you know who we have coming up in this finals heat. I do want to say thank you to John Smalley and the Bluesmiths crew, as Kai sits in here for a second, who's going to be going to rig his stuff for a free sale after this heat, I'm sure.
Oh man, we'll see about that. I just see people down in the channel. I might be done.
Okay. So, as we start into this heat, we're going to... excuse me for getting the wave scores here. In this heat, we have Tatiana Howard, Vicky on a Neil Pride, Vicky Abbott will be on a Goya sail. And then we have Ingrid LaRouche on Ezzy, the yellow's hard to read. And Sato Motoko will be on Severn sail. She'll be on the blue sail, and the Ezzy will be, and then Goya.
Here we go. Heat's on. Tatiana Howard trying to get to her final here. Won't be her first one. Nice opening ride for Tati. Starboard Neil Pride combo. The butterfly queen herself. Tatiana Howard with a good read on this. Really identified what the wave was going to do, and that's her as Hokipa knowledge speaking for you here. Nothing else going on outside. Tati's got the entire world watching her. Tatiana Howard, excellent wave ride to start off this heat. That's going to matter because she connected a couple good turns, and I might say, Rob, that she also read the wave very well.
Oh, she read it like a surfer. She surfs this place so much, she was right on it and rode that thing to completion.
Here goes Sato on a really good medium offering. These are the ones that wallop clean. Sato off the bottom with Vicky Abbott behind her. Sato's wave winds down, but she's still cutting some rug here, kicks out. Vicky Abbott on the outside on the Goya rig and sail. Hasn't been too critical on this, but definitely still has more to say as she kicks out. Unfortunately for Abbott, that wasn't necessarily true representation of her upside. But it was a scoring ride. That's pretty interesting that a kiter would find the need to kite in the middle of our contest. What a Barney. Take that tea bag out of here. I love kiting, but, come on. It's all good. He's gone. He got his 5 seconds of fame. What were you going to say, Rob?
I just wanted to say how one guy can ruin it for the rest of the kiters. There's always someone, whether it be a windsurfer, surfer, but one person has that much selfishness to go in the middle of a contest just so he can be seen.
It's not like he didn't know. It's not, it's like, oh, I didn't know. It's like, no, dude. Anyway, vibes have never been better with all the different sports, Rob. Like, we went through this era, in the 80s with the 10-man rule and the surfers, and things are ugly around here. That took a while to gel, and then kiting entered the fray. That took a while to gel. Now it just seems like, I really get along myself with everybody from every little zone. I've been pegged as like some sort of anti-kite activist. I'm not. But the point is that this is, again, back to Kai Lenny's movie, Paradigm Lost here. Watch this movie and understand all the things you can do with water sports. I can't implore upon you enough how important it is to be open-minded. And then when you come to a place like Maui, which offers you the opportunity on a daily basis to possibly do windsurfing, kiteboarding, SUP, foiling, like surfing. I mean, what did I leave out? Here comes Vicky Abbott. Somebody I've shared some epic sessions in Cabo Verde with. She's been on Maui for quite some time now, blended right into this environment. Abbott off the bottom on a clean green wall. Sun is shining. This is leagues away from where we were in the morning here. Vicky off the bottom, getting her work done through the section here. It's not all spoken for really, but she kicks out. Abbott's got a better one in her, but at least she's on the board. Sato Motoko in first place, 6.6. Tatiana Howard, 6 points even. Vicky Abbott, not yet. Ingrid LaRouche doesn't have her score yet either. Abbott in third with a 4.17, and LaRouche still needs her score, so we don't know yet. No, she had a wave, she backed out of it though, so that's what happened there. Don't pan to me. I'm going to go to my lawn chair and kick it. Don't worry. I'll hand you the mic. I'm just getting comfortable, all right? All right. I'll give you the mic in a second, Funk. Here goes Tatiana Howard. Much more setup at H. Poco Point and possibly a little bit below it. She's got to watch out not to outrun this one. But this will be a backup score for Tati. Whether she needs it or not, the end of the heat, we'll find out. The worst thing that can happen right now for Tati is to get too far out of position. This is a pretty good wave, though. This got to be better towards the inside section. Here's that surfy style that she's got, and she pulls out. Rob, what did you think about that one?
Smart move by Tati. She knows this wave, like Kai just said. She's a surfer. She played it right to the right end and kicked out just in time. Didn't go inside too far. And like what happened to Sarah and the other competitors earlier. So, and as we look to the outside, this looks like Ingrid coming in. She's got some speed. Does she have a wall to set up with? We'll see here in a second. But Tati flying out. You got Motoko out behind Vicky, and it looks like Motoko might have a really nice wave setting up. Plenty time in this heat to go. 28-minute heat. Vicky Abbott on the first wave. Motoko pumping for the second wave. Looks like Motoko's got the better wave of the two, but Vicky's setting up for a really nice wave. She's staying high. She's going to come down, and she's going to drive down onto her bottom turn, charge it. Nice bottom turn, comes off the top. Nice squared off the top. Waves a little bit slower than I think she anticipated, and she's pretty much going to finish up with this wave right here with Motoko with a great bottom turn and off the top combination. Going to charge down to the bottom, comes up to the top again. Doesn't quite smack it, but didn't need to there because she can come underneath the lip of this one. She almost caught a rail there, but that's going to be a nice scoring wave for Motoko. She may have had the better exchange of the two waves between her and Ingrid.
Smooth wave for Sato. Come to expect it from her. A good read, nothing too aggressive, however. I think she's going to be playing this to end on a high note and get started with some chipping away. Tatiana Howard has overtaken the lead, though, even though we do not have Sato Motoko's second score. I got to say that name right at least one time during this broadcast. All right. On the outside here, let's just take a look at beautiful Hokipa. Look at beautiful Hokipa, Rob. Look at these North Pacific walls coming through. North-northeast swell direction. This is a 6-wave set. I can count just endless lines to the horizon here. This is what it's all about, being able to get just a little piece of the action here. 2017 Aloha Classic, finishing on a high note here. All the most likely, we're not going to finish the event today. We just didn't get started early enough. And those of you waiting at home who have something to say about, why didn't we start earlier? Well, you weren't here watching. It was blanketed by rain. There goes Vicky Abbott, nabbing one of those outsiders. Not a small wave at all. This is a good-sized wave, and it's a smooth wave because the waves before mowed the lawn for her a little bit. There goes Abbott off the corner, sizing up her opportunity. As the wave hits the shelf, Abbott comes off the bottom, draws her line, tries to keep her board on control, does so successfully, trying to get the speed, power, and flow going here. Lower H Poco section, and it's just turning into a smart decision to sail another day. To make it into the final and be one of the contenders. Tatiana Howard in first place. We're still waiting for an update. Where did Sato Motoko end up in that exchange after her second wave? We're waiting for her second score. Things are going to change quickly and often here. Sato Motoko in first place. Heat total 11.67. Tatiana Howard in second, 11.03. Vicky Abbott with a 9 total for her 2 rides. And Ingrid LaRouche yet to get on the board. And there is time. 18 minutes and change. Oh, excuse me. Beautiful afternoon here. Way nicer than when the day started off. Boy, oh boy, does Tatiana Howard have a nice wave on the outside. Here comes Jake Miller with the drone, aerial video, Maui, ripping it up with the drone footage. We love being able to bring it to you. Drone footage live, that's all we ask for. A true representation of what these women can do. There goes Tati, kind of trying to make it to the business part of the wave. The business part of the wave's kind of behind her, but at least she's going to make the whole ride. And back up her efforts appropriately with a glassy wall in front of her. That's a nice wave and well read by Tati, who now can go about the business of riding it. Glassy wall. Tatiana Howard. Postcard moment here at Hokipa. Beautiful. Ingrid LaRouche, not to be outdone, gets into the mix here. Here comes the powerful sailing of LaRouche. Drawing her line down the line towards the channel. Will she go to Mama's for the party? No. She's not really into that party. And I love Mama's Fish House, but you don't really want to be there during your heat.
No, you don't. But they do have excellent food.
I mean, if Sarah won her heat and could have ended at Mama's, that's a different story. There is kind of a brazen approach to that ethic. However, with the sun getting low, we are entering winter here. Days are getting shorter here on Maui. It's not really one of those things that's guaranteed how late it's going to blow right now. It'd be worth a look to see, what you had to work with here. I am looking downwind. Sarah Hauser just now kind of getting into the lanes part of the equation after she was basically at Kuau. And all our 4 women are in the playing field here. Sato Motoko trying to pump into a wave. She better turn around because there's a bomb stack coming behind her. Now I think she sees it, except she just fell down. And it is a little choppy. But that wasn't really the time you want it to fall as the North Pacific wakes up. And here goes Vicky Abbott. As Sato Motoko barely makes it around the corner, Vicky Abbott all the way to the channel on a mast and a half high wave. Here goes the Abbott Express. heading downtown to H. Poco Point. Vicky might have just gone and invited to Mama's for lunch. Vicky Abbott, you are hereby invited to Mama's Fish House for lunch and hors d'oeuvres. Would you care to join us? Vicky's like, sure. I might be sailing a heat, but I'll join you down at Mama's, no problem. Big whitewater outrun. Unfortunately for her, a low-scoring maneuver. That whitewater, Rob, is stretching from Middles to Kuau. Middles to Mamas. One line of whitewater. Abbott just goes, not necessarily my day. Just like I said to Jason Robb, Hukipa is deciding this kind of on its own in a way.
Oh, you couldn't say that better, because today's conditions they're fun, but they're really, really challenging just to get into the position. And then when you make that one mistake, like you've been saying, reservations at Mama's.
Reservations. Table for one. Sato Motoko got out of a spot there. She was in a spot. Had that been one of those like burgery Westswell ordeals, she'd have gotten her clock cleaned. But not to be. And Tatiana has regained first place here. She's holding a pair of sixes. Tatiana with 2 6s in the pocket. Really solid sailing from her. Definitely trying to make her bid for a finals appearance in this event here. Playing it to the outside. Tatiana Howard and LaRouche having a bit of a look at what the outside looks like. Well, down low, you see Sato Motoko on your screen. Vicky Abbott stuck in the channel. 13 minutes to go. Sato Motoko, 6.6 and 5.07. Tatiana Howard, 6, 5.03, and 6. 12 even to 11.67. LaRouche not that far away, 10.47. LaRouche posts up higher than a 6. She's in advancing position almost. And Vicky really isn't that far out of the deal. She only needs a 6.11 to be in second. Something she's entirely capable of. That has yet to play out, really. There's a final. This heat, I'm claiming, is going to have a dramatic ending to it. I don't know which way it's going to go, but this is going to have a dramatic ending because everybody's in the playing field except Abbott. And sometimes that's a disadvantage. Sometimes you don't want to be in the playing field. You want to be the person who goes all the way outside and gets that haymaker for the win. Sato Motoko, first wave of the set, jibes out. Behind her, Ingrid LaRouche on a really nice-looking wave. This is a nice wave, Rob, and here you go. Take it away, Ingrid LaRouche.
Ingrid set up perfectly for this wave, and it's just going to peel down the line just like a banana, man. This thing is perfect. She's going to get a good scoring wave, a lot of turns, good off the top. It's kind of mushy right now because it's getting into that section of the area where it's going toward the channel. She should stall a little bit, get a little more steep action. She does. Nice bottom turn, comes off the top high. Oh, and she catches a rail. She had all the scoring points ready for her, but she couldn't come through on that one. Toddy on the outside. Take it, Kai.
Sato Motoko finishes her ride with the kick out. Outside of her, Tatiana Howard ready to put a stamp of authority on this one and book her spot in the final. There goes Tati commanding the point, summoning the gods of Hukipa to her side, as she does on a daily basis, I might add. Tatiana's been at this for a while. It ain't her first rodeo. Once again, her bubbly, infectious enthusiasm spilling over here into the commentary booth. I just love how she sails, how she plays the game. Definitely friendly, aggressive, okay? Don't let that get lost in the fact that I didn't say the word competitive, because she's extremely competitive. It's just her style of competitive that I think sets her apart a little bit. Anyway, she's proudly sponsored by Neil Pride and Starboard. and runs the Butterfly Effect, which is a non-competitive, female-oriented women's gathering of water sports. It's a downwinder. It's been going on for a while, the Butterfly Effect. Check it out. Yeah, little yard sales going on here and there. There comes Fiona Wild swimming in a board that had gotten separated. I'm relatively convinced of the fact that, after 9 days in a row of sailing, maybe this was my day off. Because honestly, as much as I do and don't want to sail, I had a great session last night when conditions really almost were better than this. A lot more user-friendly, but I might still be tempted. There's a little bit of daylight left, but you know what, guys? It's been a good show today. Lots of credit to head judge Duncan Coombs for pulling the trigger when he did, sticking with it. We've got 2 days left in the waiting period here, and hopefully we can finish this thing off because we only have like 4 more heats to sail. It won't take a village to finish this now. Everything has counted up until this point. And a couple of free sailing days that actually ended up as throwaways. Man, was it been a fun week. Yesterday was awesome. Tuesday was really fun. Nine minutes left, Rob. What do we got? We've got the playing field here. Lots of white water. Maui showing its teeth. Ingrid getting smoked in the channel. We didn't see that, and I didn't want you to see it. That was one of those things where don't look. Because, bug on a windshield. A ladybug.
Toddy upped her first best score now. She's up to a 7-1 and a 6, so she's at 13-1 and has stretched her lead over Motoko Sato, and she's sitting in second place with a 6-6 and a 5.07.
Hang on. Now, Rob, what's the battle for second and third looking like, please? Elaborate on that for me. Vicky and Motoko.
They're neck and neck, Vicky and Motoko. Like I said, Motoko with a 6.6 and a 5.07. And Vicky's sitting with she's in third place. So actually Vicky's in fourth. Vicky is sitting on a 5.5 and a 4.8. I don't think we got in her last score.
Okay, Tatiana left the door open here. She went on an insider, and outside is one of the biggest sets of the heat. Hukipa definitely giving Sato Motoko a chance to get into this now. Tatiana played into it. She rode an insider and left the door open here, but two of these waves are completely closing out. Sato Motoko on the scoring opportunity of the bunch, and this one's running fat on her too. Unfortunately, not the best scoring opportunity for Sato Motoko. An opportunity, however, to get a big whitewater on the head in the channel. Here goes Vicky Abbott, bottom turning with everything on the line. 7 minutes and change. Vicky Abbott doesn't need a whole lot to get into this, but she gets out of it because she's just not where she needs to be in the scheme of things. And Sato Motoko, boom. Big impact whitewater. There's stuff going down in the channel that's definitely, not what you want to have happen to. She hung on to her stuff and it's in one piece. Credit her component sponsor, whoever it is. And her strength. Thank you, Rob.
That was phenomenal because she was down and that whitewater came in. And sometimes with the impact, you try and hold on to your stuff with all your might and it just still pulls away from you. But she did a great job and shows for a person that's not very big how strong she is. Really strong. Sitting on 6.5 minutes left. Tatiana Howard still in first place with Motoko in second. Running in third is Ingrid LaRouche, and Vicky Abbott is very close behind with a 10-4 total score compared to Ingrid's 10-6-7. So it's a close game here with Vicky setting up for a wave right here.
Incorrect. That is Sarah Hauser finally coming from the Mama's Party. Sarah Hauser in the final. Very proud of Sarah. And probably just as proud as she made it back to Hukipa, man. Wow. Oh, that was an ordeal. She has earned it. And now we're going to see who earns it in this second semi because it's money time now, Rob. It is time to seal the deal for these 4 competitors. Who's it going to be right now? Looks like Toddy's got a strong shot at it. Sato Motoko right there, 12.6. Where's Vicky Abbott in this mix? And it's LaRouche now in third. Awaiting the moment. Unfortunately for LaRouche, she's getting deleted down in the channel. It is just all you can do to end up down there. And Vicky can just get into the mix with a solid score. She needs a 7 to be second. Not out of the realm of possibility for her. And Vicky does have the inside track as far as staying upwind in this broadly angled northeast swell that we're experiencing here. It's a lot of lines that are running wide straight to the lane. There's a number of exposures that come to mind here for Maui on the swell direction. It'd be very likely that I'd have looked elsewhere today than Hokipa. Hard to say. It'd probably have been in the mix at some point. Vicky upwind with an opportunity to jibe on something. It's not money time yet, really, end of the heat, so to speak, for 4.5 minutes. You can still be pick and choose here. Tatiana Howard has jibed on this. And this wave isn't really quite on the point proper, but what we are seeing is that it's gotten a little bumpier here in the lineup. And here goes Tati trying to absorb those bumps off the bottom, through the top, running the dance, running the butterfly dance. There goes Tatiana. Nicely done. Sato Motoko outside of her. Synchronized bottom turning. Sato Motoko, you are invited to Mama's Fish House for hors d'oeuvres after your heat, or maybe even during your heat, because that is where you are headed. With Toddy. Oh, I didn't want to see such brutality. Please, be nice to our girls, Hokipa. Vicky Abbott, 3.5 minutes away, needs a 7. Totally capable of that aforementioned 7, but it's got to happen pretty soon. Vicky Abbott on your screen. Goya rig, quattro board, well equipped. Here we go. She dives into it. Starts her stance. Here comes Vicky's statement to be in the final. Is it enough? Crisscrossing through the point. She's got to stick with this one. Vicky kind of thinking that she's got a target. Vicky kind of knows that that might not be her bid for the final, unfortunately, for her. She's got time. She's got 2:41 to get a 7. Will there be a 7 in Vicky's future? It's been lowered. Her requirement's been lowered now. Please scroll down one more time. Vicky Abbott only needs a 6.61 to be second now. Something tells me that last ride wasn't quite it. Well, we're ending on a pretty high note here at the 2017 Aloha Classic here, finishing off our women's semifinals and setting the table for the men's semis. It's going to be one more day of action here tomorrow. And trust me, if we made something happen today, we're going to make it happen tomorrow. Woo!
Keith Tabul I was talking with earlier, and a lot of people are worried about rain tomorrow, but Keith Tabul, he knows his stuff, and he's thinking it's going to be even better than today. And I'm inclined to agree with him. Come down to the beach. We don't know what's going on until you get actually on the beach. That's what we're a slow start today. Patience paid off, and here we are.
Kiki Tabul with the local knowledge. I'm gonna side with Keith. I think what's gonna happen tomorrow is the swell is gonna kind of be on the consistent side, slightly smaller. Since Polakau and I were already claiming that the medium waves were the higher performance waves, tomorrow's gonna be filled with them. We'll have less of these big burgery bombs and some more pure performance characteristic stuff that you'd expect to see the likes of a Keith Tabul shredding the point to bits. 1 minute to go here. Vicky Abbott needs a mid-6. Can she pull it together to get her bid for the final and join Tati in it? Can she edge Sato Motoko? Only one person in the lineup right now, and it's Vicky. 40 seconds. This is a huge moment for Abbott. She's selected something that's actually going to be a little higher up on the point here. Looks like she's going with it 30 seconds in. Does she want this one or the next one? It's going to be this one. Vicky Abbott. Off the bottom here. First bottom turn. Slashy top turn. We're looking for a mid-6. Abbott needs contact. Abbott with a high snap. Pretty stylish. There's more to it. Vicky with their second combo turn. One more for Abbott. Is it enough? I'll let the judges decide that. 5 seconds. Tatiana Howard could get on the board. She's got a show intent to ride. I'd count this if I were the judges. This is going to count for Howard. She was on the wave when the horn sounded. Trust me, I know. Here we go. Vicky Abbott. Do not go to commercial or go to anything else other than Tatiana Howard trying to seal the deal on her bid for the finals. Tati heads to the channel. All right. Thank you very much, you guys.
Love you, Kai.
That is going to be all she wrote. Thank you, Samantha Bittner. Thank you, Fiona Wild, for just a tooth and nails effort in that. There goes Keith the Bull paddling out. That's not a bad idea. Maybe that's what I'm going to do is get a little surfing before the sun goes down. That might be what needs to happen here. Well, Rob, you know, I can wax very positively on the fact that we made this happen today. Little bit, the hammer and the chisel, Rob.
Oh, it was sketchy at the beginning, and we came through with flying colors. We got this whole round done, and the women's. This has been a very successful day for what it started out to be.
Absolutely. There was some doom and gloom in the beach here about, will we get our opportunity to compete? What's going on? All the armchair quarterbacks in the world coming out in force. Well, 2 o'clock came around. Duncan, you know, does not mess around, man. I got to give Duncan Coombs a lot of credit here for staying the course, and the entire judging panel and everybody here working on board, our live class crew. Great job, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us at home. We're going to bring it to you live tomorrow and finish this thing off at the 2017 Aloha Classic. Aloha from Hokipa, Maui. Check out a couple of our sponsors' links here. Check out the link to the opulent Nalu or Ola Ranch, and we will see you tomorrow. Funk and Fly out.